DJ Eddie King.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Straight Up No Chaser Talk with OG Patrice. I am so excited, you guys, to have my debut show on knowledge and relationships. And first of all, I want to give a big shout out and salute to my family, knowledge and relationships in the intellectual soapbox, and my extended family. Let's talk the better Black life. I am so excited to be here. I am so excited to start this adventure with you guys as a part of my life of over 20 years of being in the entertainment industry. So I tell you, sit back, relax, chillax, whatever it is you're doing on this great Sunday afternoon, and enjoy the show. Welcome. Salute to the chat. The chat is where it's at. This your girl, OG Patrice. We in the building on knowledge and relationships. You guys, I want to say thank you, first of all and foremost, to everybody that's showing up to support me. Thank you to everyone that is working behind the scenes, my support team that's working behind the scenes to help me. I could not have did this without you all making this possible. And I just want to thank you and send you all the love and respect and shout outs that I have to give. I got a very, very, very exciting show. I'm so excited, y'all, and I just can't hide it, right? So I'm so excited to start this my debut show with a very, very special guest. Not only is he a very, I could say, prominent stamp in the music industry. He has more tenured years, or just as much as I, 20 plus. He probably have more. And he's worked with so many various artists in the entertainment industry. We're going to talk about that as I interview him. But guys, here's the other secret. He is also my ex. So he's a former man of mine, right, that I met. So we're going to talk a little bit about that too, because we talk about a little bit with relationships and things of that nature. Even though this channel and my show is totally my show, I could say. It's totally not going to be so much about relationships, but I'm going to give you guys a little walk into my life, into my endeavors in entertainment, and how it kind of intertwined with some of the relationships that I had. So I want to say welcome. I'm going to start giving you guys some shout outs now. I see some of you guys in the chat. Salute to Wally. Salute to my brother, Vouaghn Bryant. Salute to New Growth. Oh, so my brother's in the building, Miss Annie. Salute, sister. I love you. Thank you so much for all your support. Oh my God, you guys. Jill, my sis Jill is in the building. Jill Chocolate Boutique. Thank you for coming, guys. I really, really appreciate it. So I hope you guys enjoy the upcoming show. But I'm going to talk a little bit about, before I go into my soliloquy with the bio and things about my special guest, I want to talk a little bit about what my show is going to be about, because it's not going to only be about just my entertainment life and me interviewing some people that I know in the entertainment business, but it's also going to be about other things, right? You guys know, as many platforms as I've set on, I've talked about being an activist, being active in the community, and things of that nature. So I'm also going to talk about and bring guests on. I talk about the political realm. I talk about that side of things that I'm involved with. So I do plan on, hi Marcus, I do plan, thank you for coming. I do plan on bringing some guests that I know specifically that I'm working with in the political realm, that I'm going to bring on to talk about some politics and the science of politics. Because what I found is that a lot of our people are not very knowledgeable when it comes to how politics works. So, with my experience working in politics, working the Obama campaign, and I may show some pictures of that later. Some of you guys may have already seen that on YouTube when I interviewed with Darrell Long, and I talked about me working the Obama campaign, and I have plenty of pictures of proof of that, or receipts of that, as well as my involvement in ADOS. Hi, Sister Sophia. Thank you so much for being here. Justice Flash is in the building. Thank you for your support. I appreciate it. So, yeah, so not just only the political side, I think that our people, specifically Black and people of color, need to realize and learn how the science of politics works. So that's some of the endeavors I'm going to talk about on this talk show too, as well as my participation in being an activist, with being involved in the ADOS movement, to being involved in community service movements here in the state of Arizona where I reside, right? So just bring some of those things to light, have some people that are in those sectors on my platforms, me interviewing them and things of that nature, right? So this is going to be a little bit different from the norm of what you see on a lot of these YouTube street platforms, right? I am going to be bare minimum when it comes to talking about relationships, because I feel it's enough platforms that's doing that. But I know that everybody wants to know possibly a little bit more about OG Patrice. So I don't mind talking about me. And I talked about my marriage that I was in for over 10 years. I've talked about that on YouTube platforms. So I feel if I'll stay safe if I talk about my own experiences than if I talk about somebody else's, because I don't know somebody else's walk. And if somebody else want to talk about it, that's fine. I have no problem with that, right? But I think if when you put the onus on self, good, bad, ugly, or indifferent, you can absolutely talk about yourself. You can talk about all the good, bad, ugly, and the difference that you've experienced as someone that's walked through this life and has experienced being in a relationship and being in a marriage. Shout out to my bro. Let's talk to Better Life is in the building. Hey, family. Thank you so much. I appreciate the support. You guys, come on in and listen. Tell a friend to tell a friend about knowledge and relationships and OG Patrice Straight Up No Chaser talk show. I'm so excited about the future endeavors, guys. I plan on having some really, really dope guests on that I'm going to be interviewing and bringing to the platform of my show of what I want to do and where I want to take. I feel like our people need to move up to the next level, right? So, with that being said, my next guest that I'm going to talk about and interview today, he goes by the name of Ron the Track Man Carter, right? Ron the Track Man Carter. And to just give you guys a little bit of info about Ron the Track Man Carter, I am going to have my brothers in the background after I read this bio to absolutely greetings, love experience. Thank you for coming. To play some of the videos of some of the people in the industry that he has worked with. I'm going to read his bio first. Let me get my, you all listen. I got to get my other pair of eyes on, right? So, a little bit about my brother, Ron, the track master. Ron Trackman Carter, nominated for the European Best Newcomer and Best Soul Album at the Sound Awards. He's a producer, singer, songwriter, and master musician. He is now introducing himself to the world as a certified lead singer. Go figure, because when we were together, he was not doing any singing, guys, okay? And a songwriter, an established producer in the R&B, funk, and pop genres, with his soon to be released in the spring month of April 2022, which means that it's already here, independent digital mass mainstream debut on his established multimedia hit music production company called Funk Hop Incorporated, will be a soulful funk and pop collection of his hit songs and tracks entitled Soul Frequencies Volume 3, which will be very enlightened, smooth, and eclectic in style, with swag and flavor to be reckoned with. Ron, the Tracksman Carter, showcased his smooth, suave, melodic voice on several erotic and seductive singles, which caught the attention of many, especially women, with his Soul Frequency Volume 1 and 2 debut in 2021 and 2020 and 2021, which revealed 11 number one singles, an international new music fan base of over 3,500, and is still attracting more new dedicated music fans and followers each and every day. Ron says his focus now is divinely guided by his love and passion for the arts of music, which he has endured from the joys, pains, ups, and downs that come with the experience of life and the music business. Now, with all those different and sometimes trying moments, he is grateful to be enabled this time around as a recording artist himself to share his complex emotions with the world as his stage. Master drummer and an instrumentalist keyboard player, songwriter, and arranger producer, has made his mark and clearly falls into the artist deserving of greater exposure categorically, says the music insider Keith Red Dog Napier, and Ron Carter's brand new R&B soul funk pop CD, Can You Feel Me, is a clear example why Ron demonstrates his gift for making funk, hip hop, original soulful melodies. The Fayetteville, North Carolina native, now residing in Charlotte, North Carolina, after relocating from his in demand production contracts that lasted more than 20 years in Chicago, Illinois. That's where we met, guys. Hint, hint, is creating quite a buzz. Ron was introduced into the National Registers of Who's Who of Executives and Professional 2023, 2003, 2004 edition, and the Metropolitan Who's Who in 2005. In addition, as well as just released recently in 2008 edition, and added to Stafford Who's Who of Executives and Professionals in 2011, and has been voted number one on internet music sites onlinemusichehype.com and urbanjoint.com, are currently in the top 10 charts of internet broad jam. For his past embodiment of smooth jazz efforts, Jam For Ya went number one on urbanjoint.com. Soul went number one on MP3.com jazz charts for Charlotte and UrbanJoint.com. And most recently, the first annual Fame Games Effigy Awards in 2008 in the following five categories for hit songs: Natural High, Best Artist in Style, Jazz Funk, the Fame Games Profile, Best Instrumental Performance, Most Popular Artist, and Most Popular Solo at MereMusic.com Fame Games. Ron Carter makes his mark in the United States working with renowned artists such as Keith Washington. Y'all remember him, right? The Kissing You. Kissing you, loving you all through the night. I love Keith, that's my friend. And Carolina Panthers theme song, The Final Touch. Johnny P from the rap group Do or Die featuring Scarface. Y'all remember Johnny P? He sing the song, Do You Wanna Ride in the Backstreet of a Cali? Something, something, do or die. Something like that, but it went like that, but I remember that song. With Scarface, J. Sly female recording artist Raw. Darnell Jones, that's another Chicago homeboy of mine and friend. Double Impact, and just recently, gibberish rap star Ray Money and Parrish Smith of international platinum selling hip hop group EPMD. And for 2015, he has embarked upon being music producer on Revelations Tour Johnson and hot new rapper coming out of Atlanta, Georgia. And his debut CD will be released, which be released on Slave Universal Records in spring of 2015. Experience has been Ron's teacher in this often cutthroat music business, which, by the way, didn't get the best of Ron Carter after paying considerable dues from his first music industry ride. He showed resilience and perseverance and recreated himself by immersing his life into the hands of God and his music, creating his new brand company, Funk Hop Inc., which is now parent company in Funk Hop Stars Only Entertainment, LLC. Now Ron Carter, the Datraxman, as many music lovers of the short-lived past seasons of real music may agree, when it comes to the real music from one's soul and its purpose for revealing its pure excitement and joy, this new project and debut of Soulful CD album Soul Frequency 1 will surely make an impact on all races from decades to come. Soul Frequency 1 CD album will be digitally distributed by Warner Music Digital Distribution Level, Funk Hop Level. That is the bio, you guys, of Ron, the track master Carter, my friend, my former man in the business of over 20 something years, probably 30 something, because I know I'm over 20 something. So he was in there long before I was. So now I want my beautiful family and support system in the background to please play some of the music artists that Ron has worked with. We can actually start with Keith Washington and the song that he produced for Keith Washington on the Kissing You album. Back, I want to say that was in the 90s, I'm going to say, when that album came out. And then we can just move forward to Johnny P, the two singles he did for Johnny P. And then we can also go from there with Ron's original.
Talk about it, baby. Can we talk about it? With so
Yes, good music. Shall we continue? Shall we continue with more of Ron the Traxman Carter's videos of his production, arrangement, songwriting, and even his vocal skills. Let's move on. How about some Johnny P? See, this music got me in the mood because I remember when music was really, really good back then. The lyrics was good. The men were singing good love songs to the women, and we was taking it in and, falling in love because they were talking about loving on us and appreciating us and respecting them, and we reciprocated. So here's Johnny P, y'all.
I got the munchies for your love, baby. I wanna get freaky with me. I got the munchies for your love, baby. Your body's so sweet, come give it to me. I got the munchies for your love, baby. I wanna get freaky with me. I got the munchies for your love.
Okay, so I just want to say, don't that song kind of remind y'all a little bit of what was that group, Silk? I wanna get freaky with you. Don't it kind of remind you, take you there, right? When the R&B groups was good, and he produced another song. I think it's called "Faithful" by Johnny P, with Johnny P as well. If you have that one, can you pull that song up, "Faithful"? I love that song. That song kind of give me the vibe of Jodeci when the boy groups came together and they were singing the really great love songs to the ladies. So yeah, play a little "Faithful" by Johnny P for us. Yeah, see, you see what I mean? That kind of put me in the mood of of Jodeci. You know how they used to come together with the songs and with the ad libs and the runs in there. Man, Johnny P was all that. He was the guy, guys, that was singing that song on "Do or Die." Do you wanna ride in the backseat of a Cadillac? Song, da, da, da. That was Johnny P. That's your man right there. That was him. So now let's pull up some of Ron Carter's work. Let's pull up Ron's single. I think it's called "I Try" or I Am Trying." Let's pull up some of Ron's original that he is now currently doing for himself as a solo artist. Bring that funk. Okay, y'all. What I'm feeling from this song is that Ron is trying to bring back that old R&B funky sound, kind of mixed from the 80s and 90s into the early 2000s. So I'm so excited when I bring him up and we're going to talk about it, right? Like I want to see, is that where he's going with his music, because that's what I'm feeling in that music. And if y'all agree, let me know. I don't know. I'm just saying. So here's another duet song of a rap artist called Savage that he did, produced, and also was rapping on with this young man out of, I believe he's out of North Carolina. I'm not sure, but we'll find out. But anyway, here's Savage and Ron Carter. Okay, all right. So that's his duo rap song with Savage. And I see Savage is in the chat. Salute and shout out to you, young man. When I'm ready to drop the link, you are more than welcome to come up and talk about the project that you and Ron, the track man Carter, worked on that song. So many moments. I'm excited. We'll play a little bit more of the experts when we bring you up, Brother Savage. But welcome, welcome, welcome to the chat. And now, guys, ladies and gents, without further ado, I want to bring up my special guest, my friend, my former man, Ron, the track man Carter, y'all. I think he in the building. Is he in the
What's happening?
building?
Oh yeah, we in the building. We
What's
definitely in the building.
up? How are you, sir? How you doing?
I'm blessed, and I'm humble about it, and I thank the Lord, for each and every day that I wake up, because I definitely be up all night.
I know you do. Listen,
Yeah,
I remember those days. Hello.
yeah, yeah. It's
Well, listen, I want to thank you so very much, Ron, for doing this interview and allowing me. I feel blessed for allowing me to be one of the first ones to interview you. Because listen, I know you're blowing up. You blew
yeah,
up. You had blown up when we met. You know what I'm saying? But now it's
yeah,
like you're on another level as an artist, and I
yeah.
want to talk about that. I want to talk about just take me there. Start me
Right.
with your career and the
Okay.
beginning of how it all came about for you. I know you
Right.
were young when it happened, and I don't know if it was happenstance or if it was, I know it was due to your talent, but just kind of walk us through that. Walk us through how that happened for you. I mean, I know, but we got people in the chat, we got supporters,
Right.
subscribers that are watching, that are so excited you're here. I'm excited you're here. So yeah, let's go. Let's go.
Okay.
Just walk us through that.
Yeah. It's well, I was born up, I had the gift as my first acknowledgeable gift that my parents and my grandparents seen, family members, that actually were in music. They seen it at a young age. I came out, I was playing professionally as a drummer by the time I was 9 years old.
Oh wow.
Playing with guys twice my age. I was actually playing with grown men.
Right.
Started at professionally, I would say 14. I was tall for my age, of course, back then. And so I was able to, get in those nightclubs, and keep that beat on point, keep the beat on point, keep it popping, you know what I'm saying, for the audience, live audience projects that we was doing in those back in those days. And all that led to more opportunities. The more your frequency spreads its testicles, I would say. I'll put it in that way, because music is a frequency. That's really what I was instilled with. You know what I'm saying? You can either do it positive, or you can do it negative. So I chose the positive route. You know what I'm saying? And it led to me traveling around the country, playing in different venues, and then I end up in Charlotte, and that was predestined. I mean, it was destined for me to end up in Charlotte, because I end up meeting by chance Keith Washington, which was my first major artist, even though I had already recorded way before then, in recording studios and played on records as a drummer. By the time I was in my early 20s, I end up, composing, on keyboards and synthesizers, and I was considered a multi-instrumentalist, and because even when I was playing, other people's music, as far as top 40 and playing those cover songs, I never really liked doing it. I always knew that it was a greater purpose for me. I'm serious. I just at that age, I just wanted to do my own music, what I was hearing in my head, what I was hearing in my heart and my mind. And God, revealed it through my experiences.
Wow. Yeah.
And
I want to say this, and then I'll let you stop back. Just to interject here a little bit. Your start didn't come from the church like so many singers did, right? Your start just basically came from the gift that you had, and thrusting yourself into working with people that were adults when you were just a young teenager. And being in the rooms and grasping on and sponging on and learning from that experience. listen, that is definitely something of a little bit of a difference when it comes to a lot of
Right.
singers like myself who
Basically.
started in
Yeah.
church and
Church,
so many
right.
other singers. So I just
Right.
wanted to bring that to the attention of how people's different walks in life, of how they intertwined into the music industry started for them. And I want to give a
Right.
special shout out to my cousin Etta Reed. She's in the chat. She said, "Hey Ron." I don't know if you remember her.
All right,
but
Etta.
anyway,
What's up, Chi-Town?
yeah, Chi-Town is in the building. We in the building. Etta Reed, hey cousin, love you. Mwah. And so yeah, so finish go ahead, finish taking us through your walk.
And it for the younger up and coming musicians and artists, I've learned at this point in my life, you're talking about a 30-year plus professional career. There's a few songs that Patrice did, share with you guys. Those were some of the household name artists. But I work with a lot of artists that never really made it to that household level because of bad business deals. Different. Falling outs, because people
That's
are
the
people.
side people don't see. Yeah,
people are people. I mean, it's gonna be some misunderstandings. It's gonna be some understandings. And at the end of the day, your inner peace and your purpose is what you need to focus on.
Absolutely.
Stand clear of the chaos that can drown you. Chew you up and spit you out, because the music industry don't really care nothing about you. You gotta love yourself and love God, and that's coming from a street spiritual perspective. It's a new term that God has gave me the vision and allowed me to speak on it. As an affirmation. Keep it real within yourself, and you ain't got to worry about getting in your own way.
Absolutely. And I want to talk about a little bit about, as you walk us through your career, tell us about how it came about, and where were you established in your career when you got to the point where you reached that next plateau of working with a major artist like Keith Washington and like Johnny P, because a lot of people don't
understand,
how that process works, and then we can walk them through, as well, and have that conversation.
It's about, my former manager at that time, which was the manager of the group that I played in, but in the Queen City of Charlotte, North Carolina. That's my home now. That door that he opened, Keith, his brother worked at the airport, where Keith's wife at the time, when he was married to Marsha Jenkins, they interacted and networked and found out each other's, loved one was in the music business, and that's how I met Keith, because of my former manager, Sean Marshall. That led, and so that over the years, that camaraderie, local camaraderie, created even more of opportunities and more network, flow. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a flow. Because when it's on, it's on. When it's off, it's off.
Right.
That's I'm serious. That's how it goes.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're absolutely right. And then, like you said, with opportunities of having a manager that met someone, that knew someone, that's just kind of how it went, especially back then. Now it's not that way. You have to actually be on social media, get a certain amount of fan base behind you.
Yeah, you was on social media.
None of that exists. It was
offline. Social
it was about who you knew and mouth to mouth.
Networking. Networking. You know what I'm saying? That's what a lot of to me, not to even judge any of the platforms, but Facebook is a family-friendly platform. People actually know each other from high school, junior high school. These are people you grew up with. You very seldom gonna attract people unless your music is being marketed by other Facebook users that don't know you. You see what I'm saying? So
that's true.
And Instagram is a very good networking portal.
Yes.
And now TikTok, you know what I'm saying, which I'll discuss that later with my new distribution deal. But anyway, long story short, Keith actually opened up doors that was, I say, right on time. He exposed me to the Jack the Rapper. He took me on his wings. He took me, the Jack the Rapper was one of the biggest networking showcase conventions from the Black radio network back in the late 80s, early 90s, up to the mid 90s. I met Aaron Hall from Guy, Teddy Riley, Bobby Brown. So many, Shaka Khan. I mean, it's just so many people that I met. Jermaine Dupri wasn't nothing but, probably running around about 14, 15 years old. I mean, he was a kid himself, running around there, but his dad worked for Sony at the time. But anyway, Keith really exposed me to a whole nother level of music, of the music industry. And I finally realized I was already on that page because, like I said, if you got a love for music and you continue to pursue it, you're gonna create more opportunities for yourself.
Absolutely.
Back then, when I came up in the music industry, it wasn't about the bag. It wasn't about.
It was about the love of the art.
Yeah, it was about the love of the art. You know what I'm saying? Of course, you got, and I've been blessed to make a living from it because of my skill set, which God revealed as I continue to pursue it. And I said, well, I didn't know I could do this. You end up doing technology. You didn't go to school for technology, but your formerly family members had all that instilled in them. So a lot of times, what we have as gifts is already in our DNA. You know what I mean? So
absolutely.
Moving forward from the Jack the Rapper, I end up going to another convention. Like I said, that Kissing You project really set the tone. It set the tone. I mean, I can't take that away from people. We've talked over the years recently, but that I would never take that away from my humble beginnings in the recording side of the music industry, because you got the music business and you got the music industry.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I want to say I was glad to be kind of that person to connect you back with Keith Washington. So let's have that conversation,
God did
right?
That.
So
God
listen.
Did that. Yeah, God did
so
that.
Now I'm living in Las Vegas, Nevada, and I'm, in the surroundings of people in the industry, and I see Keith. And I knew from your and my history together of what you told me about your start, right, with Keith. And so I'm at this party. I'm at this, this industry party, and I see Keith. And I had already met him and knew him. I said, hey, Keith, I wanted to tell you that you and I have a mutual friend in common. And he go, well, who you talking about? And I said, do you know anyone named Ron Carter? And he go, oh my God, that's my guy. He's like, listen, we at a party. And he go, can you call him right now? Can you call him right now?
And that happened.
Did I not call you?
Because life moves on, and you lose, numbers change, technology change. So whoever's meant to be in your life, they're gonna be in your life. Absolutely. Years can go by, and if God still has that purpose for that person in your life, some kind of way it's going to come back together. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
So that led to I met a lawyer during the mid 90s, and he kind of took a liking to me because I ended up doing the theme song for the Carolina Panthers football team.
Right. Yeah. Tell us about that.
I did the theme song. Yeah, that was on it was kind of prophetic because I ended up at the home studio I had at that time that led up to them getting the franchise, finally getting awarded, the franchise to have the team. 2 black cats were born under my home, and it was just, like I said, prophetic. So I ended up one thing led to another, and I ended up conceiving that song because of a rapper that I was working with at the time. He came up with this idea, man. We need a track, we need to do this. We need to do this. Do the theme song for the trap for the football team we got in Charlotte, man. This and that, and blah blah blah. So I put the track together, laid it down, and next thing you know, the network started. More doors open. So that led me to this attorney that actually took me to another convention. It was called the Vibe Music Convention, which was owned by Quincy Jones's magazine, Vibe Music Records. Vibe magazine.
Vibe
And
magazine.
believe it or not, my first song was on Quest Records, which was owned by Quincy Jones too.
Yeah.
with Keith Washington. So so it's like I said, different things that God has planned for you is going to connect anyway. You know what I'm saying? It's predestined. Predestined opportunity. People that's you admire these people, but they're I would say in the behind the scenes realm are part of your journey. You just don't know it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So anyway, that led to me meeting Andre Valachi. He was Williams. He's out of Chicago. He was a financier and a supporter of Helen Wooten, the Brat and Lisa Ray's godmother.
See, we're gonna tie that. This is tying it together of how you came to Chicago, and then how you and I met when you were living in Chicago.
That's right. Yeah. She heard my music. He got back in touch with me after he heard my music, and she just was overwhelmed. So she flew me in and offered me a contract to produce for her label. You know what I'm saying? And it was kind of ironic because R. Kelly had just jumped the ship on her. You know what I'm saying? Because she had put a lot of.
Listen, when I tell people
R. Kelly had jumped the ship, and they saw me.
We got that story, right?
They saw me as a facilitator. Someone that God sent to fill that void that he left, because they had so much, support and and promise in what they was doing for him. You know what I'm saying? So unfortunately, 30-something years later, he's caught up in this situation he's in. But karma is a bitch. Excuse my language, but it is. I mean, because you can't in the music industry, you cannot get the support of people, and then you jump the fence on them as soon as those puppet masters wave a better opportunity in front of you. You don't forget where you come from. That's why I mentioned the names that I mentioned on this first interview, and I got a lot of interviews lined up. But I wanted to make sure that I set the tone for for the rest of them with this truth serum.
Absolutely. And listen, Ron, so let's talk about the great Helen Wooten, right? And how when you all the people that prior to me meeting you were around, working with, networking with, got to know, like that list goes all the way from people, the Brat, Keith Sweat, Lil Wayne before Lisa Ray, Lil Wayne before he even was as big as he was. It was so many people that great Helen Wooten, and I want to interview her grandson, the one that you introduced me to talk. Her son. I'm sorry, her only son. I want to interview him at some point to talk about his mother. She was one of the biggest promoters, managers in the city of Chicago.
And that's big. I mean, because Chicago is a major city. Trust me on
that. So with you coming into contact with her and meeting her, continue to take us down that walk with.
Well, that door there, that opportunity and that door that God blessed me with was overwhelming. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, when I met Lisa Ray, I was attracted to her, but we became friends. Every woman that you see that's beautiful, it ain't, a lot of times it ain't meant for you to try to, get in a relationship, to get them in the bed, but sometimes it be a beneficial network behind it, another purpose, friendship. So, Donnell Jones.
I forgot about brother Donnell Jones.
I did a song with him. It was never released, but I did work with Donnell. He's a real genuine guy.
Yes, you're right. You remember when you and I were together, I found so much songwriting paperwork that had Donnell Jones' name on it. It was pictures of L.A. Reid and Pebbles, so much of that history that I remember when you and I were together is to so many people that you were in close
Well,
contact with, that I later end up meeting or getting to know or having an
right,
opportunity of
right,
being in spaces with, right?
right. Yeah, so they, the Helen, that whole ride, I mean, that's 14 years,
Yeah. Oh my
at least
God. Yeah.
10 years with her alone,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And one of the other, it was a local Chicago group that was very successful. It was a bass player by the name of T Star. He had heard, had one of my demos, those CDs back then, wasn't on
Right.
the phone.
Right.
He took it
Exactly.
to the owner of Streeterville Recording Studios up in uptown Chicago.
Yep.
And
Streeterville.
Jimmy heard my song. The owner of that studio, it was a multi-million-dollar studio. He automatically gave me a production deal. So I had access. I worked, the room that was next to mine was, believe it or not, it was the public announcement. They worked right beside me, right next door. You know what I'm saying? And that's because it was like, at least 14 to 15 different studio rooms. That's how big this building was with, as far as, music production and recording and TV shows and soundtracks and stuff like that. But anyway, I end up connecting with, Mello and Dre, from the Ed, the one that did R. Kelly's beats and stuff like that. So, it was another network opening from that.
Right.
Anyway, one of the engineers, Ron Gresham, this guy, when I met him, and he ended up, I met him through Helen and working at the studio. He ended up engineering the project that I produced for Helen, because I was still with Helen, even though I had the production deal. It opened the door for us to have major access to a major studio.
Mm-hmm.
So I met Ron Gresham, and he was probably the most influential engineer that I ever had the blessing of working with. I sponged off of him. Because you gotta remember, I wasn't even singing back then.
Right.
I could, but I was producing. I was into, the tracks and producing and production. So, long story short, I ended up recording at Chicago tracks. Now the production deal was at Streeterville, but we ended up using Chicago tracks too. So that's how I ended up meeting Ron. And Ron ended up bringing some Chicago rappers, Chicago street rappers, hustlers, whatever, to the table. Telling me about my production and my beats and this and that. And that door there led to Johnny P's brother hearing about me. And when he met me, that's how the Johnny P thing started.
Okay.
Johnny P's brother is the one that facilitated bringing Johnny P to the table.
Okay, now let me ask you this, because was Johnny P from Chicago too?
Yeah.
He's because I know Do or Die. I know the rap group Do or Die was out of Chicago, right?
Yeah. Johnny from the West Side. He's from the West Side.
I thought so. So we had like Do or Die, Crucial Conflict, Twister. Because I remember coming in the studio when you were working with another rap group, and they had Twister, and Twister was in it. Twister was in the room. I remember I had my niece with me because she actually got Twister's autograph and all of that when I came up to the studio and things of that nature. So, yeah, I thought that Johnny P. And listen, and I was very, very surprised that you told me that Johnny P. had passed. I had no idea. I did not. How long has he been deceased?
Wow. 5 years now. No less than 5 years. He it's on YouTube. I mean, if you Google his name, you got, he fell down to his lowest point in life because we ended up putting a lawsuit on his brother, which was the management and the lawyer at the time, and Rap-A-Lot Records. All respect to Jay Prince. Jay Prince didn't have no idea that Johnny's brother was, doing the underhanded stuff he was doing. They actually tried to give us, co-songwriting and production credits on our creation, me and the other producers. So I got in touch with Linda Mitch. Matter of fact, she's passed away too. Linda had an unfortunate accident. Linda Mitch was the president of the Grammys and all that. This is one of the biggest female lawyers out of Chicago. So she became my attorney, during that time outside of JB Ross. So I've just been blessed.
Yeah.
I just been blessed. You know, I can drop some names that'll make people scratch their head. You know
No,
what I mean?
no doubt, no doubt.
Yeah, and I don't,
You know,
I don't go around talking about it like that. I mean, you know, if it's not in my bio, you know, because it's a long story. You know, you got to understand. I've been doing music, you know, for 30 plus years. So, you know, the documentary and the life story and the legacy of that part, it'll come out, you know, as a living legend. You know, I won't be dead and gone. You know, at least that's what my father saw before he passed.
there you
Okay,
go.
leading back up to leaving. Okay, after that record deal went sideways with Rap-A-Lot and Johnny P. Because Johnny P was the first artist that was going to be on a label division for Rap-A-Lot called Sing-A-Lot.
Yeah.
After Johnny's song "Gonna Smile" with Tupac's song, biggest song with Scarface.
Yeah.
You know, Jay Prince gave Johnny, gave Johnny a deal that was, I mean, the first street R&B
back then
trap soul artists, you know what I'm saying, on Rap-A-Lot. And that was the first time that they ever had an R&B artist that could sing like Johnny.
Wow, yeah, Johnny was amazing. He was
amazing. He was amazing.
He's
you know what I'm saying?
Amazing artist out of Chicago. The same way, that was putting a lot of those ad libs and runs on songs for rappers. The same way Danny Boy was when Danny Boy.
Yeah, and I met Danny Boy too.
Yeah, that's my boy. You know, that's my homie too.
Yeah. So Danny Boy was real good friends with another female artist that Kellen had signed to her label named Shakita Daniels. And, him and her and Danny Boy was like brothers.
And as well as Jewel, Jewel was with Jewel and Danny Boy was with what's the name of the Death Row Records, and they both were out of Chicago. So I remember, singing in church with like Jewel and I met Danny Boy. I didn't meet Danny Boy until he moved to Vegas. So that's when I met him. Once he got to Vegas, I had knew of him.
And it's crazy because Danny Boy is now telling his side of the story. From all the aftermath he went through. We all got a story. We all got a story. If you're blessed to last this long, that's the purpose.
Man, I'm telling you.
For you to give God the glory through all your experiences.
And and shout out to Jewel. She was telling her story before she passed. She just passed a few months ago.
Why didn't know that?
She was telling, she was one of the first, she was the first female singer on Death Row Records, and she was telling her story before her untimely death. May her soul rest in peace. But
it's crazy because they Suge was trying to do a deal with Helen to get us, but I didn't want to participate in that. I just didn't feel like it was a proper opportunity because I didn't like the name. First of all, I didn't like the name. I didn't like the name. Anything with Death on it, I did not want to be a part of it. Murder Inc., Death Row, whatever.
Murder Inc.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not. You can miss me with all that.
Right,
you know
right.
That's why I'm funk.
Because it's about what you speak out your mouth, right?
That's
if
real
you
talk.
speaking murder out your mouth, if you speaking death,
that's what
out
it's
your
gonna
mouth,
be. That's what it's gonna be.
Just saying, and it was a lot of unfortunately a lot of travesties came out of
a lot of sad outcome. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, just going through all the different, like I said, peaks and valleys as if you want to put it in a spiritual way, not religious. I'm not into the religion, but I'm a spiritual person, musically speaking.
Ditto.
The peaks and valleys. You know what I'm saying? In layman's terms, the ups and the downs. You know what I'm saying? When it's on, and when it's off, it's off. And when it's off, that's when you are inside yourself grinding, steady releasing and producing, from that frustration, still pursuing that your goal, because everybody has a goal. Some, like you said, some people doing it for monetary reasons and temporary gratification, and the word celebrity, I never did like that word.
Yeah.
I'm serious. Because it's a shame game. I mean, you can't do nothing without the whole world knowing that you got some problems. And everybody got problems.
And when they know you got problems because you are a quote unquote celebrity, it's worse for you. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm just, my father gave me well, let's lead up to that, how we met. Anyway, after that Johnny P situation went crazy, went sideways, I made my mind up. I made my mind up at that point. I said, you know what? I'm getting ready to do my own company. I'm ready to do my own, but I'm tired of people, you know, causing my career, you know, to stall. But it wasn't stalling. It was actually continuing to move. I just didn't know it.
It
But I just got
it was pushing
frustrated.
you to move to do your own thing.
Exactly. So that those, like I said, some people you meet for a lesson, and some people you meet for a blessing.
Hello.
So a lot of these people that you exposed to the audience, there were lessons and blessings.
Yeah. Yep. All rolled up in one.
I'm serious, you know. But anyway, I end up having another young lady that I was in a relationship with before I met Patrice, and she had her girlfriend's husband, which was her best friend. Her husband was Vince Color's son. Vince Color's advertising agency was the third largest Afro-American advertising agency in Chicago, in the big tall buildings.
Yep.
His son was my first investor with Funk Hop.
Okay. Oh wow, that's dope.
Yeah. So that's what led to Funk Hop. It was conceived by Jeff Colors. Okay. Financially, you know, he put the money behind me, and he believed in me when he heard a part of my story and what the frustrations that I faced, you know, dealing with you know, how things turned around with Helen and then the Johnny P situation. You know, he was more than eager because he was looking for a project. That's when Master P. Master P was big, so he had a project called Casio. The rapper was going to be called Casio, a rapper that was rapping about getting money. That's all. He wasn't going to rap about killing, but he was rapping about getting money. That's what the Casio project was. So that's how Funk Hop actually started, from the Casio project. That led me to meeting J.B. Ross, which is another prominent Chicago lawyer. He was the lawyer for James Brown. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, no, I mean, but you're mentioning names I'm definitely familiar with when it comes to that, the business side of entertainment.
The business side.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that led to me you know, starting Funk Hop, you know, and I haven't stopped. I haven't looked back since then. But anyway, I came back home because my father got sick. You know, my father got sick.
Well, see, wait, hold up, because you skipping the part, because you got to tell them, you know, when you got to Chicago and how we met, and then why you left.
This is leading up to that.
So,
this is leading up to that.
All right. Because I want to be clear, because, you know, a lot of my supporters and subscribers and followers and admirers on YouTube, they know that I was in the business, but I want them to know this side of the entertainment, because we talk about relationships too. And I want them to know, no matter what you're in, what walks of life, how different things can affect things. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, but when my father got sick, my mom had called me, my mother called and had him he was still in the hospital from the first surgery. So he wanted to speak to me because I'm the oldest of three. Anyway, he gave me, you know, he prophesied on me. I mean, he said, son, I just want you to listen to me. He said, God got something major for you. He said, but you ain't gonna be chasing this no more. Your name gonna be the track man this time around. And excuse my language, audience. He said, when you don't need none of them niggas this time around. All you need is God. You see what I'm saying? And that wasn't him looking down on those people that he referred that word to. It was just the spirit, the energy of seeing his son, gifted son, go through all these peaks and valleys because of other people not keeping their word. You see what I'm saying? Because you can't control somebody else's motives. You can't control somebody else's personal problems.
That part.
You see what I'm saying? You know, so that's a whole nother conversation, you know, one day. But anyway, to get to it, he said, you just need to come back home and put God first, and it's gonna come to you. Okay, I did. I came back to Charlotte, wasn't here a month. Got a call from a songwriter that I met through Helen, the Brat and Lisa Ray's camp, you know, godmother. But me and him didn't work together at the time. We worked together after that project was over with him. After, you know, he came in after I started Funk Hop. After the Johnny P, he came back to the table through that situation. His name was Keno. Keno had Clarence, was it Clarence Thomas? He from the Shy Lights. He was a member of the Shy Lights. I mean, just like I said,
you talking about Marshall Thompson.
Marshall, I'm talking about, man, the stories, the names keep on dropping. There's so many I can't drop them all.
And these people are all people that I know that I'm friends with. So.
I'm talking about, you know, these are people we grew up on. Yep. You know what I'm saying? You know, not from our generation, but from the
our parents' generation prior to us, our parents.
Right.
The Shy-Lights.
So,
Marshall Thompson is
right.
One
the
of
network
the
with these type of people that's been in this. Yeah, to be able to network and, you know, have opportunities come from these people that know the industry was overwhelming. So anyway, he had a project that he wanted me and Keno to produce. So I ended up going back to Chicago, which I can't say I shouldn't have did, but I did. And
you better not
anyway,
say you shouldn't
have. So anyway, I went ahead and went. And the dude that was gonna give us this you know, this dude wanted to sign us a contract. And guess, you know, y'all ain't gonna believe this when I tell the audience. He was gonna give us a contract for $6 million with no paperwork.
Right. Yeah.
That was not supposed to happen.
Right.
That was because I was not gonna take $6 million from no Chicago nigga, you know, brother, you know,
right. No
gangster, you know what I'm saying? All three words in one.
Yeah.
And not sign no piece of paper. You see what I'm saying? So that led to me and Keno going to an event, and we met a promoter by the name of Gus Redman. Gus told Keno and I about the studio called Planet 11 on Michigan, on 31st of Michigan. 34th. Yep. So that when I end up over at that studio, instead of coming back to Charlotte, I winged it. I sacrificed. You know, the studio didn't even have a shower in it. I was taking bird baths. Seriously. I mean, you know, this is real talk, audience. And that's just the love. Like I said, you know, financially speaking, sometimes you have to do what you have to do if you want to be a part of something great for yourself.
Yep, sacrifice.
Yeah. So anyway, I ended up in that studio, and Patrice met Keno, the songwriter partner I had. They looked at us like another Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis.
Right.
He befriended the guy, Spanish guy that had the studio on the bottom floor. Keno told Patrice about me and me about Patrice, and he said, "Man, I got this female you need to meet, bro. I know y'all gonna hit it off, and that way you ain't get to be really kind of standing here in the studio." So now, mind you, you know what I'm saying? You know, the $6 million deal that we had on the table was still being negotiated. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, so it wasn't no budget there yet. So that studio that I was in, that was above the studio that Patrice was recording in at the time, I saw it as an opportunity to get the hell up out that studio, you know what I'm saying, and just come to work when I need to be in the studio instead of living in the studio.
Exactly.
So anyway, me and her hit it off. I mean, as soon as I looked in Patrice's eyes, she said, "You don't have no idea what I see when I look in your eyes."
I did say that.
Yeah. So, you know, we were together
we gotta say we was both in our 30s, I want to say, right? Because it was well over 20-something years ago.
Yeah.
So with me being in the studio downstairs, you being in the studio upstairs, and kind of how we met through Keno happenstance.
Right.
Yeah, it just kind of all.
Yeah, because he didn't want, you know, the main thing was, you know, even with that taking advantage of that opportunity to be, because they were looking for an engineer. You know, that studio that I ended up at, you know, they were looking for an engineer. And I could, you know, my skill set, like I said, I can go to any city. I can leave Charlotte right now and go to LA, New York, back to Chicago, and I'm gonna survive. Because like my skill set is gonna allow me to do this. So that's why, you know, when it's off, you know, you grind harder. You know, you increase your knowledge. You know, you set the tone for your skills to help you prosper. You know what I mean? So now with the technology, you see that, you know, people are quitting their jobs. They on TikTok every day, making a living, trying to make a living off of TikTok. You know what I'm saying? Thanks to the Chinese.
And some of them making a good living off of it, right?
Yeah. So they're using their talents and gifts that God gave us all. You know what I'm saying? This is the most wonderful part about technology. If you don't put nothing in it, you ain't gonna get nothing out of it.
That's right.
So the old days of artists going around, I want a record deal. Well, guess what? The record deal is the deal that you create for yourself, not from a Sony, not from Warner Brothers, not from Universal, because these companies are a thing of the past. You got the TikToks, the Spotify's, you know, and these startup tech companies. They're giving them the money. They're getting the millions of dollars. You know what I'm saying? I got a meeting next week with a venture capital firm based on my grind, you know, and how God got my purpose even more consistent, you know, with my company Funk Hop Inc. Crypto. You know what I'm saying? I'm on the blockchain. I'm doing NFTs. You know, and that's all because I got out of my own way and spent time with myself and God. Because that's the only way it's gonna happen. That's the only way it's gonna happen. So,
and I want to be clear, because listen, I see some. Okay, Southern Tro, thank you for being here, sis. Hanifa, thank you so much. Bolo, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you guys tuning in. And I want to be clear in what I say about how Ron and I met, because he gave you the short version a little bit, right? And I know he probably, as a man, he didn't want to go into the depth. And Southern Tro, I saw that shout out. I did not run game on Ron, okay? She said I ran game.
Oh yeah.
Listen,
she got the Chicago stepper style with her now.
But listen,
real good.
Listen, Ron, you already know when you and I was introduced by Keno.
Yeah.
You know, it was an instant attraction between the both of us. It wasn't. I wasn't running no Chicago game. You wasn't running any game because you was, you know, a Southern boy from North Carolina. It was just a mutual thing that, you know, two people that were adults that were in the same business that just happened to be attracted to each other. And I'm glad that it wasn't a thing where, because that's, you know, you and I, we didn't work together until later after I got the girls group. So we'll talk about that. So we wasn't working together then when you and I was together, which I'm glad, because it probably would have been worse. We were in a relationship and you were working with major artists outside of what I was doing in the industry, right? So I want to be clear about that. So there you have it.
Yeah. So, you know, that relationship, it sufficed for at least a year and a half, or almost 2 years.
Yeah.
And then my father, his cancer went into came out of readmission, and I ended up getting that phone call again. Mm-hmm. So before that happened, Patrice, I wanted to get out of that situation with that studio. I wasn't really feeling. I didn't feel like it was gonna, you know, make any differences in my career. I just felt like I was just there stagnant, just recording people, you know, and I wasn't fulfilling my purpose with Funk Hop. You know, because I had to, you know, it's almost like I put Funk Hop, I put it on the back burner just to survive in Chicago, you know, long enough for a major budget to fall into me and Keno's lap at the time. And then Patrice, God kind of, you know, used her as an angel in disguise, and it took a lot of pressure off me to even be obligated to, you know, continue to work at that studio. You know what I'm saying? Just getting studio money, and it wasn't my studio. You know, God bless the child that has his own. You know, so now I got my own studio.
but you know, and let's be clear, because you know, Ron, when you and I were together, I always told you that. I always told you your talent is well beyond what you were doing in that moment. And
because you did. You encouraged me too.
I always was that support and that encouraging system, even when I knew that, and I had a feeling, you know, I knew it in my heart of hearts that when your dad got sick and you were leaving, I knew, even though I was hurting, but I knew that was the moment that I knew that you wouldn't coming back, and we was not gonna no longer be a couple together. It's just one of those things that, as a woman,
it was significant. It was significant, you know, his prophecy on my life, because look at Chicago now. I wasn't supposed to be a part of that drill kill music scene.
Oh my God, no.
So, you know, I mean, I missed that. I'm glad God missed me with that, because as soon as the 2 years after I left, I mean, you know, Lil Durk and all these, you know, these King Von and
Duck, all
Lord
of them.
have mercy. When I heard that the shit they were rapping about, I said, Lord have mercy.
Yeah, And they come from like you said, after you left, they come from that latter part of where rap took a whole turn
A whole nother turn.
again, a whole nother turn again, right? And now,
Yep.
like you're saying, look where it is now. Shout out to you, Princess K. Thank you for being here, sweetie. So
Yeah.
you know, as a woman, even then, even though I was in my 30s when you and I were together, it was a part of me as a woman that understood a part when I knew you had to do what you had to do.
Right.
For you had to be there for your dad, who was going in the latter stages of cancer and was transitioning his life.
Right.
I knew that you had to be there for him. I knew that you had to set out and do what it is that you had to do as a man to get you
Right.
to where you are right now. And I tell you, brother, I'm so very happy for you. I don't have any regrets. I have nothing but beautiful, cherished moments of when you and I were together. I learned so much from you, and I want to talk about that because we're gonna talk about the part of when I had the managing the girls group. Let's go there, right?
Okay.
So I tell people a lot of times, sometimes things happen for a reason in relationships. My life turned different, yours did, but it still brought us together, like right now in this moment, to where we are. And there are absolutely no hard feelings or anything, because I think I came to North Carolina once after you left to see you and visit. That's when I met your mom and all of that.
Yep.
And so I have no regrets. I know you have no regrets. It was not an ugly breakup. It was just an understanding of you were in a place where, as a man, you had to do what you had to do. Your father was dying.
Yeah, he was
you know,
he was
and I get it.
He was my reason for even existing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, him and my mom, you know, you gotta understand, you know, and I give this message to a lot of the younger parents, you know, up and coming parents, you know, that's having kids now. Support your kids, support your children. I mean, because if they got a talent and a gift and they want to pursue music or sports or be a lawyer or a doctor, support them, because my parents supported me. And that love, that same love is why I'm so strong now spiritually. You know what I'm saying? Ain't got nothing to do with the preacher. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to reach you now. You know what I'm saying? Support your kids, because it wouldn't be as much chaos in the streets with the disobedience. You know what I'm saying? That you know, that the quote unquote gatekeepers, you know what I'm saying, the GOV has got your hands in, you know, with the abortion rights for women and all that. I mean, it's all a mess that was created to keep us from our purpose.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? So you got to look past that and realize that God is alive. He's not dead.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And even so now when we were together, we were living together, and then I started managing this group. So I started holding auditions, and I got some girls together. You remember, for a while, my cousin was in the group for a while, and I told you, now she lives in Las Vegas, Nevada. She does makeup and nails. Her name is Dominique, and she's been so blessed and have a talent that she's done makeup for Cardi B. She's done T.S. Madison. She's she sold out with Tiana Taylor with her nails. So she doesn't sing anymore, but she is doing hair and makeup and live in Las Vegas. So after she left the group, then I replaced her with these two other girls. So I want to talk about, we had 3 girls in the group. I was managing, you were producing. The name of the group was Trois. We named them Trois for the number 3 because it was that's 3 in French. And I got them in a radio play. I got them in a position where, remember when we went to McCormick Place, they opened up for Tamar Braxton. A lot of people don't even know that Tamar Braxton back in the day had a hit that was I think it was made the top 10 or something. It was her very first single out. They actually opened up for Tamar Braxton. They were starting to gain traction and everything. At that event, R. Kelly and his people were there. I get R. Kelly's manager or somebody's card. I don't know, one of his people card, and because he had his people and him had saw the girls perform. They were
Right.
interested in the girls. And I never told this story to a lot of people, right? And so now you and I were working on music with the girls, right? And the other girl that ended up being replaced, I plan on interviewing her later because she is now a solo artist, 2-time Grammy winning artist that won a Grammy with Kanye West and John Legend, and her name is Tari Teray. She's on tour right now with Slick Rick. When I tell y'all some of the people that we've been blessed to like come through our path, right? So so she left, and then I had to replace not my cousin and her because she left to be a solo artist. So now we got the other 2 girls. It's April, and I promise you for life of me, I can't even remember the other 2 girls' name. It's been so long, but God forgive me for that. And they hell of a girls could sing their ass off. So now I get them this gig. They open up for Tamar Braxton, and then now the stars, they start seeing the stars in there. So now they hanging out with some of the people from Kale's camp. Right. You understand? And then that's when the friction comes in, right? So now these boys liking these young men liking them, and they liking them, and they all in their ear, telling them stuff and how they can help them out and get them a deal, and Kales, right? So now you remember one of the young ladies was underage in that group, right? Right. She was underage. So now I'm responsible for this group as their manager, but the underage one, I'm also responsible for her well-being of the spaces that she's being in, right? So I'm having the conversation saying, hey, look, I get it. Y'all starstruck, this is R. Kelly, because at that time he was already big. And I'm like, but this is how we need to do this, right? Like you don't need to be going to the studio, hanging out with his camp and all of that without me or your parent being there, right? So the only thing I could do was have that conversation with them. I'm not their parent, right? So it just got so messy because they start fighting amongst themselves. And see, this is the part y'all don't know about, how when girl groups and boy groups and lead singers versus I want to do this, you do that. They don't understand how that shit works. And when you try to manage people, that is unmanageable sometimes because they're young, they don't want to listen. That was the demise of that group at that moment. And that I had put a lot of money into those girls. They didn't have no money. I was buying costumes. I was getting them gigs, like practices, like everything was being put into for this to happen. And you get this close and then you mess it up because you got guys in your ear, And so I called the parent. I called the parent and I said, this is what's going on and I called the parent of the underage girl. I said, look, this is what's going on with your daughter. I says, now I can't control what they're doing when I'm not there. I say, so what I'm going to do is release them from their management contract with me. And I could have sued them, but they ain't have nothing for me to sue them for. So what am I going to sue them for? But I let them out their contract. It was the end of that when we were working on their album. Were we not working on their album, Ron?
Yeah, because I came home from the studio and you told me what was going on. I couldn't believe it.
And it was just like,
I thought everything was it just wasn't meant.
It wasn't. And it took so much out of me. I said, I'm done. I will never manage another group. I said, I'm gonna work on myself. I'm gonna concentrate on myself as an artist, as singing is what I want to do. Like I'm done with trying to manage people.
It's more peaceful.
And lo and behold, later on, we find out that this whole R. Kelly thing blows up with the 14-year-old girl and the tape and all. Now, by this time, these girls are long gone out of our lives. I didn't see these girls no more for years. Lost track of them. You end up telling me that one of the girls end up in Atlanta, which is where R. Kelly was. Now, when that whole video, that whole documentary came out, and I'm sitting on the edge of my seat, like everybody else, looking at this documentary, praying that none of them girls that you and I had was a part of that, right? So I'm watching it and I'm seeing, I was like, okay, they're not there. None of the girls are there. And then I talk to you and you say, yeah, I've been talking to April and April's still doing her music. And I think she was in some movies and stuff out there in Atlanta.
Right.
So I'm like, thank you,
Urban.
Jesus. Thank you, Jesus, that I don't, that I don't believe that they fell into that. But that was part of our Kel story, that it very well could have been and happened that way, but I'm grateful that it didn't. And I want to tell people that when you are under a contract and you're not listening to your manager, you're not listening to the producers, you're not listening to people that are seasoned in what they're doing and saying, hey, this is how you should move. And when you're young and inexperienced and don't know, that's how a lot of artists has messed things up for themselves as well. So I wanted to be clear about that and clear up the whole story. I was so happy, Ron, when you told me that you had talked to a couple of times and kept communication with April, but I don't know what happened to the other girls. They fell off. One of the other girls did contact me some years later and wanted me to manage her again, and she had other girls with him, and I was like, nope, I'm sorry, but I'm like y'all wore me out. I'm done. I'm not doing it. I'm concentrating on me and my thing and what I'm doing, and I can't do it no more. I wish you all the luck. But that was kind of the Kel story that I wanted to tell people that may have never knew.
Yeah, it's all significant. I mean, I know one time I was up there working with Johnny P. We was working on Munchies, the first song you played with that I produced.
Yeah, Munchies.
And I had that track slamming, and I didn't know that he was upstairs in the other studio room. And they sent somebody down there to tell the engineer that could they cut it down a little bit, because and it's crazy because Johnny didn't give a damn. Johnny was, people don't know this, but Johnny was a legend way before R. Kelly.
Oh my God, sure was in Chicago.
Yeah, 14 years old.
Listen, it was people like Casper from Casper Slide, and I plan on interviewing him too. That's my friend too. He taught me how to step. R. Kelly, Johnny P, and a couple of other guys from back in the day. They were all in talent shows together. These were all people that knew of each other, and their careers took them in different directions. So yes.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't know that Porsche was a group that Donnell Jones was the lead singer in. They was the Jodeci of Chicago.
And yes, and let me ask you, was David Hollister in Porsche too?
Yep.
Yeah, yep. I thought so. It was Donnell Jones, David Hollister. These are all people that we know from Chicago, that were Chicago artists that came out. And later David Hollister got with Teddy Riley. He got with Teddy Riley and Blackstreet.
Right, Backstreet. Yeah, no, it's crazy because now that from their testimony, because everybody got testimonies, but what they went through. But Donnell, David Hollister, and Carl Thomas from
Carl
Bad
Thomas.
Boy. They got a joint project they're doing together as a group. One album. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So they sound good together. Of course, each of them got their own vibe, but they do sound good together.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I forgot. Carl Thomas was a part of it as well. You're right. I forgot about Carl Thomas. Mm-hmm.
Right.
And Carl Thomas ended up getting signed with Bad Boy.
Right. That's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, but anyway, moving forward, when after my father passed, I really focused on branding funk hop. The funk hop Stars Only, which you saw in the bio, that was in passing. I had one of my former partners. He had this. He wanted to do a project with me based on his company called Stars Only, and so we put funk hop in Stars Only, so that's how that LLC started, and that came from a project that I did on a rapper. That was a gibberish rapper. He rapped, in gibberish. Gotta go, gotta go. That's gibberish. Don't ask me what he was saying.
What he's saying.
But anyway, that project opened more doors than I can imagine. I mean, they flew us out to California in 2015 he wanted to do a soundtrack for a movie. That's how I met my movie film director, Tim Bragoff. Shout out to Tim out in Hollywood. And I met him because of that project. It was called Stars Too High. It's on the internet too. I should have sent you the link, but anyway, it's definitely out there. The trailer is out there. It never was released for political purposes reasons. But anyway, he won the Charlotte Queen City Queen City Music Awards for Best Artist, and he grew up with Anthony Hamilton. He was Anthony Hamilton's best friend.
Okay.
You know, so I met Anthony way before he even became a household name.
I know. I remember you telling me the story of meeting Anthony
Jodeci,
Hamilton.
I was the first one to hear Jodeci's first demo before they got signed to Bad Boy. I was supposed to be with Devontae, the producer.
Devontae Swing.
I was gonna be Timbaland, but it wasn't meant. I missed them by 10 minutes. They came to my studio and I was out, you know, doing whatever, you know, taking care of running some errands and doing whatever. And it just wasn't meant because you know what they went through, and you know, praise the Lord that they getting a second opportunity to set the record straight with this new tour they on. I'm happy for them guys. They influenced a lot of boy bands. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of my music on my R&B solo albums, at least it's at least 3 to 4 of them songs. Most people, my colleagues and new fans, they always say, "You remind me of Jodeci," you know. And it's not that I'm, you know, I don't think it's per se the reminding of them. It's the sound.
The sound.
It's the sound. You know, like you said, you know, when you first.
I said that when I was listening to Johnny B.
Right.
Like
I
saw Silk, 112, Jodeci,
right.
A lot of that feel of those
music.
boy group music that was so good back then.
It's real. I mean, you know, it's coming back.
Yes.
You know, thanks to Bruno Mars, you know, Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak. I mean, them brothers.
Anderson .Paak.
I mean, I bow down the crown to them brothers because they making sure that the world understand that R&B is not dead.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? You know, what's dead is too many babies and rappers getting killed over chains and material shit. That's what's dead. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Now it's time to live again. That's why God is bringing the frequency back, and we're going to fuck hop with it. You know what I'm saying?
And I love it.
If you can't feel it from your soul, it ain't real.
Yeah, I love it. Like you said, if you cannot, you know, R&B and soul funk music is something that definitely is.
It is the church. It is the church.
It is. It hits you like that gospel song that gets to you, and when you feel it in your soul, and it make you feel all kinds of ways.
It's been a long time coming.
Give me 1 second. I want to give a shout out to Mrs. She Said. Thank you so much for being in the chat. Southern Soul again, and thank you for the compliment. I appreciate it, sister. I really appreciate all you guys staying and rocking with me and listening to this great interview that I'm having with Ron, the Datraxman Carter. And we're going to talk a little bit more. And then guess what, guys? Ron has said we will drop the link and you guys can come up and ask any question. We will bring up one at a time, okay? And you'll get to ask any question that you want to get to ask Ron, or even myself if you have something that we can definitely give you an answer to. Jill Chocolate, thank you, sister, for being here. I appreciate it. So, listen, my cousin Etta's in the building. She says, I'm so glad. She said, I'm so glad you're doing this, cousin. But anyway, yeah. So the whole thing with the music industry, and after you left Chicago and started your endeavors as a solo artist, and I just want to be one of the first to tell you how proud I am of you. Appreciate and how happy I am for you that you actually are doing what God's plan was for you to do. What your father had already predicted for you. Yeah. Because I'm looking at the online music companies and things that have awarded you, have recognized your talent. and just all the other future endeavors, right, that you're talking about, that you're about to embark on, my brother. Thank you. And I'm so proud. I'm so proud of you.
I appreciate that. I mean,
and
and I appreciate the audience too.
I'm so glad that you and I still remain friends, and we've always
the friendship, even with marriage, when people get married, they don't understand. My mother and father was best friends. So, if you talking about damn near 50 years of marriage before he passed away, and she ain't been with another man since. So, and looking like she in her 30s,
and please give her my love. Tell her I said hello and give her my love.
But the thing I want to get, something you touched on, even in the music industry, even in corporate America, you hear about these people, especially these days with the stress-related COVID, aftermath, and the government trying to control women's bodies and all this, Trump and all this other stuff going on. Your friendship is more important than any of this stuff.
Yeah.
A friend in need is a friend indeed. Because if you don't have a friendship with a female or a male, whether you're doing business with them or not, it's going to be more significant to bring even more opportunities to each of your lives as you continue to strive and try to live. You know what I'm saying? Because like I say, who would have knew that you would have been interviewing me on my first interview? I got XXL magazine, hiphopdmx.com. I mean, I got these sites been trying to get me, to do an interview, but God allowed this to happen first, because Chicago is very important to what funk hop, how it's conceived and where it's at now. I can't forget about that. You never forget where you come from.
And you know what, Ron, too, when we were talking about how much the rap industry has changed, and I am glad that you was not a part of the drill rap that's out here now, because I think it has been nothing but a detriment to the rap industry and the community, and what it has done and brought down, and been definitely putting more of a negative vibe on, even on the female side and the male side, because we come up from the eras of the Queen Latifahs, the MC Lights, the Salt and Peppers, and all of that, and now we got female rappers that are your Meg Thee Stallions, your Cardi B's, your Nicki Minaj's, and no shade to them, but it's just that back then, and I get it, it's different generations or whatever, but back then it was truly really all about the talent. It was not about,
and then it was also about Black culture. What I'm saying?
And about the culture.
How we was treated as Black people, by the slave owners and the slave masters and the puppet masters. You know what I'm saying? It's still going on to this day. You still got, like the young lady
the puppeteers dangling, telling them how to dance, what to wear.
Holly Berry, Hal Berry, the girl from the sister duo, did the Little Mermaid.
Doing the mermaid.
I know you read about that.
Oh my
That's
God,
terrible.
yeah.
Why are you hating on this young girl because she is playing this role, that she all grew up, conceiving.
But
what I'm saying?
Because people don't realize in the industry still how systemic racism still
every day
is when it comes to our people, and how they don't want us. They don't want us in many of the rooms. They don't want us.
They don't want us to problem.
And we are in 2022, and to continuously be saying we're the first Black to do this, we're the first Black that, we're the first Black. Like, people think. I get it that
I can't. I get it that it's
a great thing, but my mind is saying, why are we still saying the first Black this and the first?
And you know what? I don't jump up and down over it. I said, what is she talking about? What is that something we supposed to clap for that? Because so in other words, your ancestors that created this, this oppression, they was aliens.
Yeah.
They always want to act like the aliens did.
Yeah. And to know that they are still, because we know that they run everything, they control everything. So what I want us to do is realize that we don't have to buy into it all the time. We don't have to sell out for the bag because they telling us to show, they telling the females to show their ass. They telling, you know, excuse my French, they telling the guys to rap about killing each other and taking drugs and Percocet and syrup, sipping on syrup and like we at what point are we going to wake up and say no, because my people need to hear this now. You know, we don't hear the self-destruction no more. You headed for self-destruction. We don't hear brother, what's his name that was with Fight the Power. We don't hear the empowerment of our you know, of our people, Chuck D and all that. We don't hear the Queen Latifah talk about unity. We don't hear the positivity and an empowerment that is so needed and necessary in our community now. And I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a few and far between. I like Kendrick Lamar. I like certain ones that are speaking on an intellectual level to stimulate and empower our people. But some of the other stuff is what I'm not down for that cause, because it is provided nothing but a detriment to our culture and to our community, in my humble opinion. So
that's real.
I mean, you know, that's just me. Would you agree?
Yeah.
So did you wanna end it and say anything else before I drop the link and let people come up?
Yeah, I just wanna you know, I wanna definitely bring my you know, one of my artists that's closer to me. The other artist is in Atlanta, and we're gonna swing back around on him whenever time permits. But Savage, speaking on the hip hop, and you know, he's an example of. I tell him all the time, you know, and I meet a lot of rappers, you know, strictly from the streets. They hustlers. Some of them got jobs. Some of them trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
But he came in the door and he emailed me, and Savage said to me, he said, "Well, Trackman, he was from Chicago, Philadelphia. Had been down this way to Philly. Yeah, he lives in the Carolinas now. But anyway, he said, I want to help you take Funk Hops to elevate it to future levels." And I said to him, when we finally had our first meeting, I said, "I'm gonna hold you to that." And lo and behold, you know, at 26 years old, this young man is an example of what I deserve. You know what I'm saying, when it comes to rap, because like I said, I'm a positive person. You know, I'm a positive frequency. You know what I'm saying? I don't like negative, you know, because I know that I got that gangster in me too out of Chicago and down south. So, you know, the more happier I am, the better off it's gonna come out.
Right, exactly. So being a girl from the south side of Chicago, I do definitely know what you're talking about. There's a rough around the edges, you know, to me, you know, I'm known as OG Patrice in these streets, but you know, I try to be professional and a lady at all times, but there is a righteous indignation in me that you will see if you go that way.
That's the sad
you know what I mean?
You know,
with all due respect.
Well, that's where it still goes back to the rap. That's why I'm speaking on Savage, because his first album was Social Conscious. You know, his Mind Gone, you know, he got a video out there called Mind Gone on one of his first songs, and you know, his album is named after his first daughter. In reality, you know what I'm saying, and you know, it's significant to what's going on, because there's a lot of people that lost their mind.
Yeah,
you know, they killing a person pull out a gun and shoot you if you step on their foot now.
Yeah, that's
you
crazy.
Can't even go to the grocery store, you know, without looking over your shoulder. You don't know who gonna pull out the gun. You see what I'm saying? So,
and if people don't think that music influences the masses, they're totally wrong. You know, you and I grew up in the era that music influenced us. That music, because the music that was being portrayed and played then was about good content, good lyrics, love songs, you know, man singing to the woman singing to the man, and talking about something of substance. That definitely affects your psyche. So if people do not want to say that music don't influence the masses, that's a, to me, I'm gonna have to call cap on that. You capping if you say that that music and certain things you constantly listen to over and over again that gets into the psyche does not affect your mentality and your thought process and how you act, how you think, how you talk. That's why it's called an influence, right?
That's right.
So, and Hope, excuse me one moment. I want to give out a shout out to Harris Tribe Media Group, thank you so much for being in the building.
Okay,
And
what's up?
yeah, who else? It was somebody else that came in that I wanted to thank. Thank you guys for being here, rocking with us continuously. I think that was it. So yeah, I try not to leave anybody out.
Yeah.
If you want to say anything else, I'm ready to drop the link. If you're feeling
Okay.
comfortable with
Yeah.
me
You
bringing
can.
up people, I
Yeah.
think
Go ahead.
first I want to bring up Zavage. So we're
Okay.
gonna drop the link. Zavage, you come up first, and then we can talk a little bit about you and Ron's project that you worked on together, and then everybody else can come up one at a time behind Zavage. I ask that you please be respectful and positive. Please stay on the subject. And and you are welcome to come up now at this time. The link has been dropped. Just click on the link and they'll bring you right up. Zavage, come on up. And my background, my tech supports, can you please play the Zavage and Ron song again? If you guys got it pulled up, please.
So many moments.
Yes. What's the name of it again, Ron?
So many moments.
So many moments. Can you pull that one up and let's listen to a little bit of it again? Okay, do we got Brother Zavage in the building? Can we bring him up if he's clicked on the channel? All right,
What's up,
Hey,
Zavage.
how you doing?
Hey, how you doing? How you doing?
Yes, sir.
I'm doing
you
all
so
right.
much. Thank you. We appreciate you for joining the panel. So I want to just ask you a couple questions. If you could just give us a little bit of information about yourself, young man, as far as to who you are, where you come from, where you from, how did you get into business, and how did you and Ron link up together to work on this project? Can you hear me? Take yourself off mute. Are you on mute?
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay. There we go. All right. So, like Ron was saying, I'm born from Philadelphia, lived all over the place, then lived in the Carolinas, then lived in Georgia, then lived in Jersey. Got a little mixture of every location heritage. When growing up, grew up with my mom and everything, my brothers, family, taught me certain things, and I looked at life a little different.
Okay.
So when I met Ron and everything, I had just moved down to Rock Hill, South Carolina, which isn't that far from Charlotte. And like you said, I hit him up through the email because I already knew what I wanted in life. Yeah, I could have been trying to get with one of those bigger labels or something like that, but that's not what I wanted. I wanted to pave my own way and not ride off of the coattails of some other artists.
I hear you. So coming from the humble beginnings that you have, had you worked with any other artists, or had you always been solo, wanting to just kind of do your own thing in the rap game?
Well, to answer that, all my life, ever since I was younger, I've always been around people in the music industry and stuff like that. Growing up, some blues players and other rappers and singers and stuff like that. But I never really thought about doing music myself until around 2018. This was right after I had got done managing this group. It was a dance group, and they wanted to start singing and stuff like that. So I was trying to get them set up. with the people I knew out there in Philadelphia to go ahead and get them booked for shows and gigs and stuff.
Okay. Look like he having
technical.
having some technical problems with his connection.
Yeah.
But okay, so
Yeah.
Ron, so he said that he hit you up.
Yeah, he
and Zavage, you can hit the link and come back up at any time, brother. No problem. We realize you're having technical difficulties. But
he hit me up.
Yeah, he hit you up via email, and that's how you and he.
Yeah, because I got a commercial. You know, my company is a commercial. You know, services music production company. So I offer recording services. I license tracks. You know what I'm saying? I don't. Everybody that reached out to me through Google, my Google business profile, doesn't mean that I'm interested in signing them to a contract or working with them in a development capacity. Outside of Zavage, I had another rapper that I've been working with for 3 years prior to Zavage coming to the table. His name is B-Eazy Dat Dude, and I met him through another artist by the name of Revelation Johnson. He's on that Tupac type vibe. And I met B-Eazy.
I remember you telling me about him. Yeah, I remember telling him.
Right. I got B-Eazy out of that situation.
Okay.
So with him, B-Eazy, B-Eazy Harris, he's doing very well on TikTok, by the way. I mean, it's one of his songs that I just did on his last project. It's done got redone. It's like, what, 56, 60 something different clips been done on that track already. And I'm talking about in a matter of 2 weeks.
Wow, nice.
Zavage got stuff, he got a couple of his songs on TikTok has been redone close to 40 to 50 times already. I mean, like I said, I made the right decision to stay small and effective. You know what I'm saying? Because like Zavage said about the group, when you got a group of people and it's more than 5 or 6 people, it's hard to keep those people on the one. Like James Brown used to say, I think I'm gonna get him to do my thing. That's why he said that so much.
Yeah.
Because if his drummer missed a beat and it wasn't on the one, he would fire him.
Yeah, because and people don't realize that makes it collective on the one. Right. Collective, not somebody on the one and somebody on the two. Everybody got to be on the one together, right?
Everybody got to be on the one.
Excuse me 1 second. Shout out to you, Vaughn Eric. Thank you. I thought I saw your name in here earlier, brother. Thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate it. And thank you. Thank you very much. So we're going to bring up our next person, Zavage. Okay, you back? Okay, better connection. Okay. All right. Yeah. So
I have to connect to the Wi-Fi.
Oh, yeah. Awesome. Great. Go ahead and finish your story.
Okay. Yeah. So I was managing this group. They were a dance group, and they wanted to start singing and everything. So I knew a couple people in the industry and everything like that. Tried to set them up for shows. And this stems back to the whole relationship, music business thing. At that time, I was dating one of the members. Didn't work out the way it should. I stepped down and let their dance instructor take over as their manager. And then after that, probably a couple months to a year after that, one of the guys who I know like family, he was rapping and stuff like that, and done been on tour and so on and so forth. Knew people like Lil Uzi and P&B Rock.
Oh, rest in peace, P&B Rock. Yeah.
So me and him were real tight, and I go to the studio and stuff like that with him. And he asked me, he was like, "You ever thought about like trying to do music?" And I was like, "Nah, man, I don't want to do that." So one day I was just sitting in the house by myself, and I was like, you know what? Let me try to write something. And from then on,
look back since.
Yeah, I haven't looked back since. And that's fast forward to after me meeting Ron and everything, within the first, 2 maybe 3 weeks of meeting him. Finished my first album.
Yeah.
And
Impeccable. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
Ron,
Savage,
did you two work together on the entire album?
Yeah.
We produced every
Oh, wow.
He got a contract. He's got a contract.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Me and the other my other artist, B-Eazy Harris, we have a spiritual agreement. You know what I'm saying? Because I never shook his hand.
Okay.
He's like, he's on his third album. This what you call trust. He licensed his tracks through my company, but we never shook each other's hand. But the rapper that I met him through, Revelation, I done been to Atlanta and, book studio time for him and all kind of stuff. We done hung out and broke bread together, but I never met B-Eazy physically. So I can't ask for two better young men to have a part of my camp. And don't get me wrong, it's other potential artists that's in the wings, but these are my main flagship artists right now. Until the other ones prove different, and I don't care how good they can rap, it's about their business acumen. You know what I mean? Right. Savage is a prime example of that because he's just a little younger than B-Eazy, but his generation is a generation that's out of control right now with the drill kill rap.
Yeah,
Savage ain't about that. Yeah, he ain't about that.
Yeah, that's good. And that's good. And
then business wise, the recording package that I offered him, man, as far as investing into himself, he don't sell drugs. He just had a regular job, and guess what? His wife, loves him to death. They just got a newborn child. And
you're a family man.
Yeah.
Oh, God bless you. You got a wife and a family. Yes.
Yeah.
Woo-hoo.
Yeah. And so I'm blessed to have a young brother.
America.
To have a young brother like this.
We got a rapper that is actually a family man with a wife and a family, and just got a legitimate job. Isn't
that wonderful? Isn't that wonderful?
I don't know how big that is.
It may be the long route, but at the end of the day, it's gonna be the right route.
There you go.
That's right.
Salute to you, Savage. Man, thank you so much. Because it's so nice to finally see a rapper that, coming up that is not from the streets, is not from that type of lifestyle, is not from that type of experience, but still being out here and, doing this thing and still being positive and being a family man, being a husband, being a father. I love it. I love it.
Exactly. Like, I've lived in the hood, but I'm not of the hood.
That part. I think we all have lived in the hood. But there you go. I love it. Thank you so much. I like the fact that you got with Ron, how you guys came together to create your project. So I'm looking forward to hearing more. Ron always sending me music.
Oh,
he always, and it reminds me so much of when we were together, because when we lived together, I got to hear some of his creations. I'd come home from work, he'd be there in the studio, work out, and I'm hearing creations of First Beats. I'll never forget that I forgot the rap group, but when the one that Twista was on when I came to the studio. So to hear the first part of people's success of their music is to say, hey, I was there when. I remember when I first heard that track, So Ron still sends me music right now. He sent me yours. He sent me the other, Revelation. We have conversations, do we not, Ron, about what you're doing? And he talks very highly of you young men and the work that you're doing. So I commend you. Please keep doing the positive. Keep doing what you're doing. Believe me, there is space out here in the industry for rappers like yourself and other rappers that are out here trying to change the narrative of the negative into a positive. So thank you. I look forward to listening and supporting more of your endeavors of what you and Ron are doing.
Oh yeah, and we can't wait. We can't wait to go ahead and get that new stuff ready for you to hear.
Awesome. When is it gonna be ready, Ron?
Yeah, I'll be sending it to you within the next few days.
Okay, that's what's up.
Now,
I'll send you the information, Ron. They're having a really big, it's called Poetry and Art, where they having people that speak spoken word and rappers and singers from all over the world. I didn't even know it existed here where I am in Arizona.
Las Vegas?
No, here in Arizona. No, here in Arizona where I am. But I'll send you some information on that. It's up and coming, and it's some heavy hitters in the music industry that I'm pretty sure you're probably familiar with some names of some people that's like supposed to be in the room. So I can send you that information.
Yeah, because it's another major event that's going to be happening through the Music Registry Guild. It's the equivalent of the Grammys Association.
Right.
And they came at me, and you know, they're going to try to get me set up with me and some of my artists to be a part of their showcase events for 2023 in Las Vegas.
Oh, okay. Well, let me know when that is, because I can meet you out there for sure. Simon, thank you so much for tuning in. Modern Southern Belle, thank you guys for coming in and supporting this interview in the chat and knowledge and relationships. Thank you guys for hanging with us and stopping by and supporting. I appreciate it. So we're going to bring up somebody else that wants to possibly ask a question. If you guys can drop the link again, or if you have the next person that's waiting in the background, if anybody want to come up, if they have a question that they want to ask, Zavit, you can stay up if you want to. But Ron, okay, so there we go. So we got my brother Vouaghn Bryant is in the building, y'all. This is my bro right here, and my fellow Chicagoan. You know, he's from the Chi too.
What's up with bro?
What's going on, man? You know, amazing show tonight, man. I am so proud of you, OG Patrice.
Thank
you. Know, you listen. You are doing great things, man, in these streets, and I'm just listen. I'm so man. I'm beyond words right now, but I'm really enjoying the conversation. And to brother Ron Carter, you know, when I first heard your name, you know, I'm old school, so I went all the way back to Ron Carter. You know, the jazz bassist, you know.
Yeah.
But man, I appreciate your stories and man, you know, just so transparent, and I love that when people get on platforms and they're able to share their experiences, because we gain a lot of knowledge, you know, from you being able to share.
Power.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
You know what I'm
exactly.
Exactly. You don't know nothing, you ain't gonna do nothing.
Exactly. That's right. You know, and you know, I have a little bit of a voice where I, you know, sing a little bit. I wish I could have pursued it more than what I did. But at the same time, man, I appreciate the musicians that are, you know, on that drive. And so I do have one question really quick. And you can all answer it if you want to. But so when you think of all of the obstacles, and I mean, believe me, and all of the things that you've had to endure, you know, and some of them were very unpleasant, you know, just in order for you to sustain your position in this industry, you know what I'm saying? And some of the things that, you know, where people try to take advantage of you. What is it that gives you that drive, in spite of all of the negative things that could have occurred? What gives you that drive to continue to pursue the career?
For me,
and I could take my answer off stage, or however you want.
It's a good answer. I mean, it's a good question. I mean, for me personally, it's like I always tell Zavit, you know, I always make my family members or close colleagues, I always put a smile on their face. I said, I'm the same. I got the same innocent spirit, heart that I had when I was a sports star, you know, in elementary school, junior high school, through high school, you know, through college. I was competitive. I love to compete. So, you know, that same mindset and that same tenacity is what keeps me going. You know, it ain't, you know, a lot of people say, well, you should have been a billionaire by now. You know what I'm saying? Well, guess what? I am. God has got his own time when he's going to release it on me. And he prepared me through those experiences to be able to handle it. Because money, major paper, it comes with responsibility. that's why you see all these Donald Trumps, you know, a lot of the rappers, you know, getting caught up in the shame game, because that, you know, they don't understand what wealth means. It ain't getting on a screen and holding up a hand of money.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? That ain't wealth. That's just, you just got a handful of money.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So, you know, it's the tenacity of pursuing what you know that God gave you. And he gave it to you for you to prosper, for you to shine, for you to cut through the mud and cut through all the hate, you know, and the resistance. You know, because like I said to Patrice earlier, when it's on, it's on, and when it's off, it's off. But when it's off, don't mean that it's off for you. That means that's when you go in and dig deeper and come out running strong.
Wow. Great answer, man. Patrice, if you could answer that. And then I just have one more question after that, if you would, but I would love to hear from OG Patrice. You know, what is it that gives you that drive?
Wow.
To continue in the industry in spite of all of the huddle, you know, the obstacles, the hurdles. Yeah, you know.
It definitely is a drive or something that is in you as an artist that you just can't quit. You keep telling yourself until your very last breath, you have to fight to do whatever it is that God put you on this earth to do. When he give you a talent, and he don't want you to keep the talent to yourself. He wants you to share the talent with the world, or with the masses, or with whoever is willing to listen, right? Because we know it ain't gonna be everybody, but just the part that I love so much, performing and singing. And I actually got to get back into the songwriting, because I have a notebook pad about this thick with songs that I've written, and songs that, and I'll just say this, I shopped a couple, and Ron is so right. Sometimes it really truly isn't about the money when there's a passion. I shopped a couple of songs that I had to some very well-known blues singers, and I knew that if I had sold my song to them for the price they was asking me for, they would have made a hell of a lot more money than I would have offered. And if I would have sold that song to this particular person, and I won't say their name, you know, people will try to take advantage of you, you know, in the industry, and sometimes if you choose, and I know that a lot of things didn't happen for me is because I didn't sell out, or I didn't cross the line, or I didn't sleep with a particular person, or whatever. And I'm not salty about that at all. And even though if I look back and say, wow, yeah, I could have been maybe up here, but would I would have been happy? Would I would have been healthy mentally? Would I have been one of the ones that would have got addicted to drugs or alcohol? Like we see so many of them that have lost their souls because they made a choice. Right. Nah, I don't regret none of that at all. I just keep chugging along. I do it for the love of it, for the love of the art, and just wanting to express myself in that, and not ever give it up. I'll do it to my very last day, till I don't have a voice to sing anymore. And it doesn't matter to me. I'm not trying to be rich and famous in what I'm doing. I'm just trying to do a particular thing that makes me happy and keeps me grounded. So
awesome, man. You know, I really appreciate all of you for, you know, allowing me to come up and share some comments, and to brother Savage here. You know, I believe that you're under a good leadership. You know, a good mentor is everything, man. And if you have somebody that's behind your gift or your talent, you know, and you know that they have your best interest at heart, man, you're really in a good place. You know what I'm saying? And God is going to bless you, young man, because of your character. See, your gift is going to make room for you. So I would just say, continue to be diligent in what you're doing and give it your all, man. And believe me, that success will definitely follow.
That's right.
Thank
you. Radio, you know, before you get off, man, you got anybody will tell you you got that smooth 103.9 radio voice.
Hey, well, listen.
Listen, I've had a few people tell me that.
Listen, my brother Vaughn can sing, okay?
I believe it.
He was a singer too.
Yeah.
He started the same way I did in the church. You know, Vaughn, if you want to go ahead on and hit a little note for Ron and and the audience, go ahead and do it.
Patrice got my information, Vaughn. If you decide you want to get some tracks,
something.
Yeah, hey, I could still hold a tune now. You know what I'm saying?
No. I'm putting it to the test right now. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh wow. So what? Okay. Well, I don't even know what I could start with, but I'll do a little scat. How about that?
Okay.
Just a little jazz scat. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. B ba 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 do do, be ba da do 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 yeah.
Wow.
About that.
Okay.
See, look, we went back to the day of when you meet a producer or a songwriter or somebody, and then you tell them, "Hey, I'm a singer, I can sing," and then they be, "Okay, well, sing something." They put you on the spot right there.
But this air conditioning over here is tearing me apart. But
yeah, you definitely got a tone, man. I mean, I definitely, if you ever get the urge.
Yeah, Patrice will let you hear.
You can get in touch with me.
Yeah. Patrice will let you hear some projects that I've been on.
I'll definitely do that with your permission.
Yeah, you have my permission. But wow, I really appreciate the opportunity, man. And I pray for the best for all of you, man. Just continue to do what you're doing.
Okay.
Absolutely. It, thank you so much, Ron, and thank you for coming up with your question. I appreciate it. And I appreciate you helping keep the chat,
I'm back there moderating.
Thank you so much. You mod and you on your job. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it so much.
All right. I got much love, OG. I will see you all later.
Brother.
All right.
Thank you. All right. Do we have anybody else waiting in the background that would like to come up if they have a question? All right. Oh. Hey, Simon. How are you, Simon? Okay. Is that your scat, Simon?
Yo, no, it's nice to see you, OG.
Good to see you too, Simon. How are you?
Really nice. It's really nice to see you. Thank you. Piece of the panel. Yo, this has been a long time coming, man. It's kind of strange, do you get what I mean? Like, because you meet certain people on YouTube streets and like we have certain types of conversations and whatnot, and to see it to come to life, it's just like, this is good. This is a good thing.
Right.
It can't be anything else. It can't be anything else. Yeah. So
thank you. Do you have a question for Ron or for Savage?
Not really. I just came up just to say hi.
Hi.
Okay.
I just came up to say hi. I'll bounce out real quick and let you get on with it. You get what I'm saying? Peace out. Peace to knowledge and relationships.
Yes. Thank you so much, Simon. We appreciate you coming up just to say hi. Thank you so much. All right, my brother. Salute. Is there anybody else waiting in the background that wants to come up and may have a question for Ron or for Savage before we get ready and say our finals and get ready to head out? All right. I guess not. Knowledge, relationships, Queen, M3. Anybody want to come up? All right. I got my brother M3 in the building. What's up? Salute, bro. This fam right here.
Yes, definitely. Hold on. Let me rearrange because I'm really humble right now because it's great to see talents and good connections, and I just really just vibe with the energy. So I just want to say definitely big thanks to you, OG Patrice, Ron Carter. It's definitely wonderful to meet you.
Wow.
I was checking out some of the music that you have produced, and I'm man, this is good. And then I went to what's that app called? Spotify.
Right.
Download like some of your music, and I just want to say like the jazz stuff, like you was definitely amazing.
I know, and I didn't even talk about that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's what, and I know that's what my father, for more reasons than one, before he passed away, and gave me that piece of advice, said your name gonna be the track man this time around. He was trying to get that Ron Carter, the old jazz bass player, away from me. Even though we got the same name. And he looked like he could be related to me, but my father saw that I needed to be separate from that icon,
right?
For me to have my own presence on what he saw was coming into my life, in the music industry, and it's working.
Yeah, I'm glad it's working in your favor. Sometimes you have to kind of disperse yourself, right? So you could have that sole name for yourself without any complications or any legality issues. So
exactly. And it's crazy you said that's a good thing that you just said, brother. Like I said, Funk Hop was conceived out of Chicago because of the Bench Colors, the biggest black advertising agency, one of the third biggest. Don Cornelius. I met Don Cornelius because of this man. I Soul Train Music Awards. I think about it and I said, wow, this is unbelievable. You know what I'm saying? But the thing that's crazy is, do you know when you Google the word funk hop, did you know that it's cats all over the world? I'm talking about not only in the United States, but I'm talking about over in the UK, the Brazil, and all. They got a movement called funk hop. I'm serious. Funk hop, my company name. I'm talking about. It's just amazing, how from 2000, from the year 2000, this is 2022. 22 years later, it's a worldwide accomplishment. I ain't talking about, the bag part. I'm talking about the legacy part.
Yeah, sir.
Right.
Yeah, the legacy is more important than the bag.
Absolutely. Got my other brother up in the building on the panel, Bro Clarence. Oh my God, y'all coming through for me. I appreciate that. Bro Clarence, can you hear me? From Let's Talk the Better Black Life. This is my fam up here, y'all. Oh my God.
Okay.
Bro Clarence, are you
here, Bro Clarence?
Oh, I don't think he could hear.
You on mute. On mute. There you go. There you go. Thank you, bro. How you doing?
All right. Shout out to OG Patrice. Main voice. Looking good. So far, so good.
Thank you, my brother. I appreciate it.
Datraxman. Shout out to Brother Savage. Shout out to Brother M3. Now it's relationship. Okay. I do have a question for Brother Ron. If I ask that? Okay. Now, I noticed you got the funk hop hat, brother. I've been listening, but I'm trying to understand what exactly is funk hop, man. What exactly is that?
Okay, funk hop. That's a good question. Funk hop, exactly, to my understanding, spiritually meaning, funk come from the church. Okay, hip hop come from sampling the church, because soul is the church. Whether it's gospel singing or singing secular music, it all belongs to God. So funk hop, when I conceived funk hop, I said, you know what? Hip hop is gonna be showing up. I said when they started sampling our soul, because that's what hip hop, real hip hop is. They sample the funk. James Brown's drummer is the most sampled drummer in the world.
Right.
Yeah. So that lets you know that, and who is James Brown? The king of soul.
Right, the Godfather of soul. And also the bass player, one of his best bass players was one of the Godfathers of funk, which was Boosie Collins, which is my buddy. Y'all saw me on pictures with Boosie early on at the beginning of Boosie was a hell of a, still is because he's still alive, bass player that played for James Brown.
His brother Phelps played for James Brown too.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Right. So the funk hop is a combination of funk, soul, R&B, trap soul, hip hop, trap beats, jazz melodies, melodic melodies, gospel melodies, all mixed up in one pot.
Mm-hmm.
So
in other words, you ain't gonna put me in a pigeonhole. You ain't gonna tell me I had an executive with MySpace. Remember MySpace back in the day?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, I met an executive with Atlantic Records, and she said something to me on a conference call we had. She said you all over the place. She said she said you all over the place. She said, how do you feel about P. Diddy? I say Puffy cool. She said, well, he has one sound, and you might need to just concentrate on one sound for right now because you all over the place. We wanna sign you to a situation and invest into a situation, get you invested into a situation where we got that one sound that we can push and market it on you. I say, well, that's not gonna happen. I said, because I'm a real musician and Puffy's not. I say, Puffy loves real music. I said, he samples music. And I said, he took that. I admire what he did because he kept the music, he kept the soul alive. But Biggie, if you remember, Biggie did not want to rap on no M2Me.
M2Me, sure did.
He didn't want to rap.
I don't know if a lot of people don't know that.
He didn't want to rap.
Facts. That's facts.
You see what I'm saying? But it was funk. M2Me was straight funk.
Yep. James M2Me.
And when P. Diddy sampled that beat, when they sampled it and brought it back to Biggie, and they got Biggie to see the bigger picture, it was one of his biggest records.
Yep.
Because it was funk hopping. He was funk hopping with it. So that's why we call it funk hop.
Okay, can I ask one last question, brother? Appreciate that.
You can ask, bro. You know you got special treatment up here. You can ask whatever you want. Many questions as you want. Quit playing. You family. You family.
I got a bunch of questions. I used to be a musician too.
Now
man,
come on with
talking to musicians, man.
Right.
Okay.
So, wait, before you say that, I want to give some shout outs to people that just came in the chat again to join us. Wealth Talk Production. Thank you so much. Marcus, I see you. Y'all in the building. Salute to y'all. Thank y'all for stopping by and rocking with me and supporting me. Thank you.
All right, Brother Ron. So you all this is funk hop, right? Now, are you the one personally that coined the phrase funk hop? Or is that like a collective of like kind of guys in your age group that just decided, okay, this is what this sound is? Because it all comes from the same place.
I coined it. Funk hop didn't exist before I coined it.
Yeah, I never heard of it.
God gave me that. God gave it to me. I mean,
I sure hope you coined it the right way, so when they start mimicking it, you can get paid.
It's legally patent by me. It's a funk hop production. It's a funk hop productions. Another guy that I ran across over the years, he got a Funk Hop Productions LLC, but mine is Funk Hop Incorporated.
Okay, right.
And JB Ross, which was James Brown's lawyer, of course he's twice my senior, one of the biggest lawyers out of Chicago, did work with negotiated James Brown's HBO special. He's the one that put the paperwork together.
Okay.
And it's impeccable. You know what I mean? And like I said, Vince Colors from the Colors Advertising Agency, which is the third largest black advertising agency out of Chicago. His son Jeff Colors was the one that was my first investor. So yeah, it was everything. The name search, everything had been legally done when we established Funk Hop as a corporation.
Okay, man, I got one more question. I see M3 giving me that look like, okay, Clarence. Come on now.
No, you good.
Quit playing, bro. You know you're good over here. Quit playing.
You try to put me on the spot.
It's actually a question for you and Savage.
Wait, which one? Well, me? Or are you talking about Ron?
No, it's for Ron and Savage.
Oh, okay.
I'll just mess with you, M3. All right, so you guys, I heard you guys talking about, how you guys try to have a little more integrity than a lot of what's going on currently in the rap industry, right?
Right.
Do you guys find it more difficult to find people that want to work with you when you guys are out there because you guys like have a standard that you guys try to keep, or are there a lot of people like you guys out there You know what I mean? Or a lot of people like, you know, don't want to do that stuff.
I'm gonna answer my part and then let Davis give you his opinion on it. For me as a producer, there's a lot of people like that, like us out here, but they're coming in divine ways. The ones that's out here that's not on our wave, you know, they want to be on our wave. They haven't had the opportunity to go through enough experiences in life to engage them with where we're at and what we're trying to promote. You see what I'm saying? So in other words, I could meet a street rapper, and I've met some, you know, since I've been working with Zavich, you know, some cats around his age and younger. They is gifted, you know, but they got cases running from the police. They just, you know, they don't. I mean, they thugging it, you know. But they really want to work with me, but they feel they would be in a safe environment with my mentorship. But they got so much other karma on them from their choices they made. It's hard to even consider even putting a contract on them because you can't do nothing with a person that's in trouble.
Right.
Yeah. So before my phone dies, main thing I'm gonna say is like practically what Ron said. It's a lot of brothers and sisters and everything who love to collaborate with us, but most of the time, the way they grew up and what they grew up around, that's what they tend to rap or sing about. So it's a little hard for the brain to understand, to even think about possibly making a song positive.
Right.
And for me, yeah, I've seen the craziness, but I've also seen good time. And even if I'm talking about a serious subject that talks about stuff like that, I still can flip it to be a positive. So my message is what I like to put out. I don't like to put out stuff and sit there and dwell on the negative in my music or in my daily life when I'm talking to somebody, anything, because that's in the past. The only thing that's used for is to learn from. Nothing else.
Okay, I got another question, Patrice.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead. But before you answer it, I want to give a shout out and thank you for CBN's Tech Talk is in the building, in the chat. Thank you so much for stopping by and rocking with me, brother.
All right, I got another question for you, Brother Brian. Okay, so why don't you just get with the groove and do the whole, you know, I kill black man, I'll kill a black man, why don't you just get in bed and do what everybody else is doing? Why?
Okay, for me, it's my moral. My moral compass won't allow me to do it because I know God is alive. You know what I'm saying? I was raised, like Xavier said, I was raised by a stern father. You know what I'm saying? He had a heavy hand. He had a hit hand. You know, so when I grew up, and me and my family, my brothers and sisters, we were disciplined. You know, until the government stepped in, you know, 30 years ago and told us black people that we could not discipline our own children. You know, so it's thank God my father. That's crazy. You know, that's why so much disrespect. You know, you got teenagers killing their own parents now, cussing their own mothers out. You know, so that's why, you know, and that's a good question you asked me because the Illuminati, that's real. You know the reason why? Because you can look at the shame and the smearing of these artists, especially black artists, from Michael Jackson to R. Kelly to Prince to Rick James, because nobody is perfect, to Bill Cosby. They love to build you up, and as soon as you make that mistake and don't want to play ball with them no more after they done gave you their blood money, you're gonna have some problems. So that's why I didn't want to go along with them. But I do have songs. I got an album coming out before the new year. I got another R&B album dropping before the end of this month, but I got a rap album that I've been sitting on called Legacy. I'm spitting on it, but I don't write words down. You know, a lot of the rappers talking about, you know, my former relative through my bloodline last name, Jay-Z Carter. You know, Sean Carter, Jay-Z Ho. He don't write, they're always saying, well, he don't write words down. Well, guess what? He ain't the only one. I ain't no lyric pad nowhere around me. I ain't got no catalog of lyrics written down nowhere. What's in you, it's gonna come out. But I do know that the rap side, when I spit rap, I can express God's street spiritual messages better because I'm talking to the spirit of Satan. You know what I'm saying? But it's got that same trap beat that this generation love to bop their head to, that turns them on. So the frequency is gonna get turned up in a minute.
So if you guys are not getting, because I mean, it seems like to me that the music industry, the ones that that are out there that will advance money for projects, rap projects and stuff like that, it seems like to me they got a certain track in their head that your music should sound like.
Yeah, they do. They do.
All
they
right.
Do. And
so if they have that track,
you know what's crazy? Go ahead.
Well, let me ask you this, Brother Ron. How do you guys get around that? You know, as far as trying to do business in the industry?
Well, I'm independent. First of all, I'm an independent contractor, so they don't control my sound. You know, my catalog. I'm at least 4,000 song titles in my BMI catalog and publishing catalog right now. And I get emails every other day from the Sound Royalty Exchange trying to get me to lease or sell my catalog. I'm not selling my catalog.
Okay.
Berry Gordy and Smokey Robinson didn't sell theirs. So every time you see The Voice, American Idol, and all these TV shows, what music do you hear them contestants singing? Motown songs.
Yep, true.
So those are my icons.
Right.
When I grow up, I want to be just like those guys.
And every time they singing them, are in commercials, are in movies, they're getting paid. And that's the thing that we have to learn to stop doing as artists is selling.
Stop selling out.
Selling ourselves out, selling that song, selling our publishing, selling so much of ourselves that because we need that bag right now or we want that bag right now, we have to learn that getting the bag right now ain't gonna save you down the long haul. I'll give you a prime example of that. My homeboy Jason Weaver, when he did the Lion King, they offered him, I think, a couple $1 million in that moment to sell that song. And his mother was thinking, shit, if they willing to offer that right now, then this is gonna be a movie that goes down in history for generations to come. Now she's thinking legacy, generational. She said, oh no, we ain't selling.
Generational wealth.
We ain't selling. We're gonna we're gonna negotiate this. And do you know that Jason was a teenager when he did that? He's a grown 40-something-year-old man now, still getting paid royalties off that song in The Lion King. Because he didn't take the right now money. And that's what we have to learn how to do. And he done got paid tons of times over than the 2 million or 3 million or 5 million that they offered him in that moment. That's right.
That's real talk. So that's why, you know, now I did mention to you that the technology specter, quote unquote, has changed the whole mechanism of the 6 majors, you know, the Sonys, the Universals, the you know, the Motowns, the Arista, Virgin, you know, it's only 6 major record companies. So they done got trapped in their own, conception of and conceit, you know, with these negative A&R guys, you know, these executives that give up, sign a rapper from the hood, give him, flash $6 million in front of his face, knowing that he ain't gonna live past 2 years. They want the catalog, bro.
Yeah.
And not to mention too, Ryan, I'm sorry, Bro Clarence and Ron, these record companies also take life insurance policies out on these rappers.
That's right.
I want to be clear about that. Because they know about a lot of the lifestyle that they lead, that it could possibly not be guaranteed for them to live to see their 30th birthday or their 35th birthday. And look at what's happening around us now. I mean, like I said, PNP, rest in peace. you can't even post where you are anymore, you know, because of what's happening,
you know, and then
out
showing
here.
you know, showing where you live at, you know, showing your nice cars.
What you live in, what you
can't
got.
Put it on, you can't, you know, you don't want people to. I'm a private person. You see what I'm saying? That's why I got that green screen behind me, and I live in a nice home. But you know, but this is business. You know what I'm saying? I'm relaxed, but they don't need to see none of that. Because if they come to my door, it's gonna be a problem.
Right.
Right.
Exactly. And if you go on a vacation or be at a restaurant or something, why not post it after you leave there? Post it after you leave. You know, so because we live in a world now where we can't do that, unfortunately, anymore. And the more I see, and the more that I see a lot of these rappers showboating, because a lot of them, this is what they do. Like Ron say, come in, you got a stack on this side, you got a stack on this side of your dot, you know, and you all on social media, and you all, it's like, you know, you posting your big home, your mansion, your cars, or whatever, the lifestyle you're living in, where you eat at, and then look what happens. Unfortunately, this is the world we living in now. Shout out to you, Simma. Thank you so much for joining us, brother. But unfortunately, you know, a lot of the flashing and, you know, the showboating is going to subside if this type of behavior continues when it's these young brothers that are in the hip hop industry now. Unfortunately, this is what we've come to in society, that, you know, we cannot continue to live that way, because if somebody want what you have that ain't working for it like you worked for it, you know what I mean? It's people that want your jewelry off your neck and your diamond rings off your hands. It's people that want your car. It's people that want the house you live in. It's people that want the stuff that's in the house that you live in. You know, and they are willing to delete you off this face of the earth to get it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a good question, bro, Clarence. For real.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you, man. Because, like I said, man, musicians are interesting people, man. I just love talking to them, man, and asking them questions, man, because you guys live such different lives. Like the rest of us, we go to work, we clock in, we clock out, and we go home, right? You guys do not live nothing like that, right?
Yeah, we don't have, we don't have that stress related programming, you know, in our psyche.
Right. Yeah. Right. And so it's just interesting to see a different perspective, but at the same time, a lot of them, like you guys were talking about, will sell not only their catalogs, but they'll sell their integrity, publishing. They'll sell everything because they need
and then
money.
You gotta understand too, you know, not to cut you off, you gotta understand this too. When they give when they give you, if they give you $3 million, the average Afro-American young male, young female, say they was a stripper, say they was selling the drugs or whatever to try to survive, you know, put food on the table. If they get $3 million, they're gonna buy at least 6-7 cars. You know what I'm saying? Outside the ground, you know, they're gonna get that, they're gonna lease that house. They ain't gonna buy the house, they're gonna lease it and make it seem like they own the house, but they don't own it.
Right.
You know, a 30-year mortgage is very seldom paid. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And so what happens is that $3 million is gone within 6 months.
Right.
So if they had if the machine makes their song go to #1, I'm talking about your song ain't been out 2 weeks, but it's already at the top of Billboard. You know, this went #1. Oh, really? So we on YouTube and we see 3 million, 4-5 million streams, but you know what? Ain't nobody listening to that song over and over that many times, bro.
Right.
It's deception, bro. It's deception. So what happens is to the artist, he gets caught up in them bills because that $3 million is gone. So he got to pay for them cars, the taxes. He got to pay for that mortgage on that big crib. He got to keep trying to help his relatives. So now he's going to sell that catalog. That's what they want him to do, right back to him.
That's what I was
not to mention. And not to mention the part of, they say, okay, now you got to go on tour, right? All of that is coming out your budget. You got to pay for the road manager, the dancers, the lighting, the stage. You got all of that comes out of your budget, and that's the part of. So when we see people, we think that they so wealthy and all this and that. When you see them constantly hustling and working and they're not. Believe me, they're not wealthy, and that's them stacks of money that they got on each side. That just may be an illusion of only a part of what they have. They don't have. They want you to think that they really have a whole lot when they really don't have as much as you may think that they have. That's because social media, like Ron said, all of a sudden now your song just shoots up to number 1 and it says 5 million people have watched it. There is people working behind the scenes that shoot those numbers up.
That's right. Technology. Because I'm behind the scenes. Because like I said, I'm a webmaster too. So I'm a web developer. So I know how the mechanism works. I'm a part of the Web 3 community. Where they pushing this Web 3. Because it's Funk Hop, INC, .crypto now and .NFT. So I got NFTs. I done created NFTs in the NFT market space. I got a crypto debit card and all this. So I understand how it works. But the blockchain, the crypto is having a lot of thieves because anything that's new is going to bring the snakes and the jakes and the fakes. So the investors, you got so much greed in this country right now. You know what I'm saying? You got so much greed. Donald Trump, why do you think Donald Trump has got so many people that still believe? Because they greedy too. He said it.
They are.
He said, if I raise these taxes, if I lower these taxes, I know y'all gonna vote for me because I know that y'all greedy. You gotta listen to what that dude be saying. You see what I'm saying? Because he know the game. The game is not in our favor, bro.
Oh yeah, I hear you. But I want to ask you a quick question, man. I know Simon's up, but I want to ask a quick question. You still with us, Brother Ron?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Now you and Patrice both been in the entertainment industry, so I'm gonna ask you like this, bro, because you made the claim that how people get caught up and then not you going on the road to make you some extra bread. You going on the road because now you got to pay back all of this stuff that they've advanced you, right? So
right. Do
you think that these major companies they set it up to kind of like have remember sharecropping? Where you sharecropping, you make just enough money to buy some more stuff for the next year, but you never really make a profit. Do you think that the music industry sets these young cats up because they don't have no understanding of how business works and have to sign these contracts where they constantly in debt?
Yep. I tell people like this here. I said when you Google a person's name, it's not their net worth. You're seeing. It's their net debt. It's the net debt that they don't have a liquid. They're not worth that kind of money in liquid cash. This is the material accumulation of obligations that they arrive to. You Google their names. All these. Rappers, female or male. I ain't know she was worth 30 million. I ain't know he was worth 50 million. He ain't worth 50 million. He worth that's how much debt he got.
Okay.
Gotcha. Yeah. The day is a good day because we talk about the truth now.
Yeah, brother, you get it out there.
And
let Simon go and ask the question.
Yeah, just even me having conversations with with Teddy Riley and Al B. Sure, when they relocated from New York to they now live in Las Vegas, and having conversations with them, or they leave California and move to Nevada. They're moving because now their lifestyle has changed. They're not making the money that they made back in the day. So now their cost of living and the way they want to live their life have to downsize now.
Right.
Because a lot of them are still in debt and paying debt from old stuff. But thank God, because of the credits of producing and songwriting from Teddy Riley and Al B. Sure, that they still are able to live a good life off of royalties.
They license them
But Ron is right. Their net worth is no longer what it used to be, or sometimes what it says it is when you Google them, because numbers get screwed, right? Numbers can get screwed, right? And we know that the numbers are not always factual of a person's net worth. It's only a mirror of what you think it is or imagine that it is.
Right. So to capitalize on the conversation is, the venture capital investment firms, they're pouring the money into the startups now. Spotify is what it is now because of the venture capital money. You know what I'm saying? Google had its own music store. They steady developing different ways to expose new music and help entrepreneurs. It's all about the entrepreneurial spirit now. You know what I'm saying? But the major dollars are coming from Wall Street investors into that music catalog. I get stories and articles every day, and it make you scratch your head. I'm saying, good God Almighty, they didn't gave this joker 250 million for this catalog of music that he didn't even write, but he owned the rights to it.
Yeah.
I'm serious, bro. I mean, it'll make your head spin.
But that's a prime example of why they was after, Michael
Jackson,
is because he owned the catalog of the Beatles, right?
That's right.
So, yeah, it's unfortunate that a lot of times in the industry, there's a perception that is out there that, believe me, it's not what you guys think it is all the time. And excuse me one moment. I want to give a shout out to Kareem Blizz Johnson. Thank you so much for joining the chat. I appreciate you for being in the building. You guys get the likes up. Please like, share, and subscribe to Knowledge and Relationships. Thank you guys for rocking with Straight Up No Chaser Talk with your girl, OG Patrice. And I have my special guest in the building, Ron, the Datraxman Carter, you guys. And thank y'all for coming up. He's answering a couple of questions. Simon, I see you came back up and now you on camera. So do you have any questions you have for Ron or myself?
Yeah, I mean, no, it's kind of interesting. It wasn't like kind of specific, but it's just like the fact of the music industry and the entertainment industry and how it's so entwined. And, Black people, I would say, have had a buy-in. And now it's like, okay, we need to work this out.
Right.
So what's happened is, the music industry has developed and evolved as it had done since the 1940s. When we turn around, we weren't in charge of this in the first place, and I think that's where we went wrong. We went wrong in sort of like thinking that we were in charge of this. We weren't. Do you get what I mean? Do you get what I mean? So it's really about sort of like going, okay, where, how many opportunities have we had whilst we had those opportunities? And most and few and far between have been scantily about that shit. They've not really sort of set up shop. Right. There's a couple of names like Master P, Dr. Dre.
Right.
Do you get what I'm saying? Set up shop.
Yeah. Right.
But apart from that, it's just like, God damn. It's scantily. Do you get
it's the same thing in the sports industry. You got the Baron and Shaq and all them cats. They complain about how the NBA and treats the NFL players. Kaepernick, what he going through. Look at Kaepernick was trying to God use Kaepernick to get these dudes to see. Until we own these companies, these franchises ourselves, it's going to still be the same thing over and over. So how many owners and coaches done got exposed since they tried to blackball Kaepernick? with racism. They're coming out now. They can't even hold this shit back no more. It's because they can't stand the fact that these brothers that they done gave millions of dollars to is unappreciative now.
It's just really obvious, I mean, but the fact of the matter is I'm going to be timed out in a second, but I'm just saying the fact is it's very obvious, and what's very obvious is that there's only certain people that could do it, and we need to be susceptible to that. I mean, we keep pushing back,
right,
and going, oh, I don't like this, I don't like that, or whatnot, and it's just like, why can't we just
go? But you still take that salary from them. You still ain't. You ain't formed and got with your Charles Barkley's, and Michael Jordan. You know what I'm saying? He doing his thing in Charlotte, but he still got people he answers to too. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, it's a mirage, bro. Steph Curry wanted to play for he said the only thing he regret, his daddy played for the Charlotte Hornets. Dale Curry. I'm talking about a sharpshooter. I'm talking about, he got it. Dale got it. Steph got it naturally. He said he was disappointed when they gave him this icon award, for the Davidson's college he went to. He finally got that degree. He said he was so disappointed after everything he accomplished. He always wanted to play for his hometown team. Why didn't Michael Jordan take that money that he paid for two athletes that was doing the same job that one dude could do, that was born and bred in Charlotte? Why he didn't give him the money? Politics, bro.
Right. Yep. Politics and certain people.
And I'm glad Steph, he spoke out on it, because like I said, man, our truth is our power, bro.
Yeah. And salute to you, Wally, in the chat. Thank God for people like Ice Cube, Master P, Birdman, that did create their own space and narrative. And yourself, like what you're doing with Funk Cop now. We need more entrepreneurships. We need more Chance the Rappers. We need more. Right. And I think that a lot of our people are waking up. They are, and creating their own paths. They creating their own doors when the doors are being closed to them. Then they're creating their own tables for others to sit at, like your Tyler Perry's and people like that. No matter what sector of the arts and entertainment and sports we're in, we're starting to wake up and realize that, we need our own, because they're still closing some doors to a lot of major people that's trying to get in the doors. So absolutely. Right. Hey, Queen, how are you, Queen Forever 2K?
I'm good. You look beautiful.
Thank
you, gentlemen. Ron, Bro Clarence and Ron Carter, Mr. Carter. I just want to say thank you for what you do and reinventing yourself. I do want to ask, I've been watching the show off and on, but OG Patrice talk about you, and I've heard conversations about you. She says how awesome you are. How did you have the morals and the standards that you have, and been able to survive this long?
It was a natural progression, when first of all, I listened to my father before he passed away. And one of the significant things he told me, if you just listen to me, son, because I know you're a grown man, it's your choice. When you get to the top this time around, I'm gonna be in your corner smiling. Do you know that 4 months after I came back home to Charlotte and he took his last breath and we got to the emergency room, he was smiling from cancer, passed away. So this my truth is coming from my DNA. If they say the word, the word our grandparents tell us, I'm a witness. Well, I'm a witness. I'm a witness. That's my guide. That's my guide. My spiritual focus, knowing that it's greater than what I see. You know what I'm saying? It's bigger than me. You used to say all the time, it's bigger than us, son. It is. But the spirit of all money ain't good money.
Good point. Good point.
Can you say that again?
All money ain't good money.
Because a lot of people don't believe that.
The money got its own spirit on it.
Queen, were you here when Ron talked about that there was a big kind of like gangster in Chicago that was giving him a $6 million deal on the table? Just reiterate that again, Ron.
Yeah, it was a $6 million. It was a $6 million investment with no contract, and I wasn't about to take that. I didn't even, first of all, whether I knew him or not, I didn't know him. You know what I'm saying? All I know is that this. It felt dark, and it wasn't right for me. You know, and to this day, I could have pulled up receipts, conversations with the Illuminati dark agents, telling me, you know, because they're tracking me. I mean, I'll block them. They're coming back on WhatsApp or send me or follow me on social media, trying to get me to, to bow down. I'm not bowing down. I'm here now. I'm not doing it. I mean, it's 22 years, and that 4 is significant. You know, that number 4 by the flow, 4 through the door. Now we glow. You see what I'm saying? Now we're gonna be royally dripping while y'all still tripping, falling over your feet. You know what I'm saying? Then face defeat. You're stressed out. You're dragged and drugged yourself to the bottom of the pits of hell. For what? So that's what God gonna use me to do. Because like I said, I didn't even know I was gonna say that right there.
I know, and that just flowed out like it was a natural rap. And I was about to put a beat on there or sing some ad-libs or put some runs on it. And we was gonna create a song right here live.
Yeah, I laugh all the time. I make myself laugh. Because God is funny. He's a funny cat. I'm trying to tell you.
I would give a shout out to my brother Rico Young. Thank you so much for coming through, bro.
I appreciate you all for showing up and showing
in the
support.
chat and in the building. Thank you.
Thank you
so much. Ron, I don't know how much time you got, but
yeah, I just looking at my text messages. I got an appointment I got to take care of.
Okay.
But I really appreciate all the attendees and the interest and the questions, and the stirring up the spirit, of interest.
Thank you so much for your patience.
For everybody.
Thanks for the question. Thank you. Salute to Patrice. I can't pronounce your name. I'm sorry, but thank you for stopping by and coming and being in the building. Salute. I see you in the chat. We appreciate you. Hold on, Ron. I want to close you out, right?
Okay.
But
okay.
if anybody got any final questions, let him answer, and then I'm gonna close out with him.
I have a question.
I gotta go. I'm sorry, Bro Clarence. I have to go.
No, go ahead, Queen.
I just want to say thank you for doing what you do. Thank you for showing a different side of being successful in the industry, because not a lot of people see that side. They want the glitter and the glitz, and they want the fake now, the Instagram, the what do you call it, the filters, and they're not living to enjoy it. What's the point? What's the point of having a vision and a talent and not being able to live 2 years past getting it to enjoy it and being in chains to do it? So you can't
I've had influencers, because I got a new Instagram account for my company, and it ain't been up but a month and a half. So it ain't like I got offers to buy fake followers, but I didn't do that. I'm building it brick by brick. And most of the influencers or promoters that come my inbox is stay full. The first thing they ask me is, where have you been? Your numbers don't add up. On Instagram, I say, you should have billions of followers. That's them waking up to the point of somebody authentic showing up. You see what I'm saying? Because most of the celebrities, and I use that name loosely. They don't even manage. They don't manage those accounts. They got social media managers, and those bots come with those accounts. That's why I need Tesla guy. That's why he's going through a battle with trying to back out of the deal to buy Twitter, because he exposed that half of Twitter's accounts were robots. There was bots.
Yeah,
wasn't even real people.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying? So deception is a weapon that's been used against our people in the Browns, you know, and you know, in the Chinese and in the Japanese, because they come from us too. I'm gonna put it out there. You see what I'm saying? You know, we was in Russia first. You see what I'm saying? So we are God's people. You know, and I know they're listening, but the truth has set us all free.
That's right. Don't believe the hype. That's all I'm gonna say. You guys have a good night.
Thank you, Queen. Appreciate you for coming up, bro.
No
Clarence,
problem.
I'm gonna let you ask your. Thank you, Queen. Ask your last question to Ron, and then we're gonna get to Wally, and then we're gonna close out.
All right. Yeah. Am I back on? Okay, Brother Ron. Real quick, man. I just want to ask you a question. What advice would you give a youngster coming into the, well, not even a youngster, anybody, any age,
right,
new artists coming into the game that would want to keep their integrity like yourself, man, be a person of integrity and not go for the game that they got out there? How do you stay away from the traps they got set up for you?
Just you know, know where they come from. First of all, know who they are. You know, within the you know, the frequency of the inner purpose of their life. Know who they are. You know, seek knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Don't, you know, it ain't got nothing to do with what the preacher preaching to you. You know, seek knowledge. No, Google. You know, they open up a whole nother knowledge bank for people of color. You know what I'm saying? Because you know the people don't know that the CEO of Google, he's a man of color. He's from India. You see what I'm saying? You know, these guys they on a whole nother level. You know what I'm saying? And that's why the saying goes, it's big enough. If you keep your faith, you're gonna pass your test, and it's gonna be a graceful outcome instead of an embarrassing, you know, terrible outcome as an artist. Because you know it's important that you understand that nobody's perfect, but if you ride on faith and walk on faith, what the world going to see is going to be revealed anyway. You can paint it red, yellow, white, green, and blue, but it's still going to the main color is black, because none of them colors don't work without that color black. Isn't that wonderful?
Right. Well, bro Clarence, thank you so much for coming up and asking the questions that you asked. It's so important. Thank you. And my brother Rico in the chat wanted to know if a duet may be coming up with me and you soon, Ron. Listen, you never know, because I may tell Ron, hey, send me a blues track or something I can rock out to. So absolutely, it may be a little bit of reunited and it feels so good. Reunited because we understood. I just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, and sounding good on it. Yeah.
Thank you.
This has been great, Patrice. This has been great.
I got one more person, Wally. Thank you so much for coming up. And if you want to get your question in right quick for Ron before I close out with him.
Right. Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What's going on with you, bro?
All right.
We hear you.
All right. What's going on? Thank you very much for letting me up. This has been a great show. I've been in and out here and there listening in. This is just my one question, because with your experience in the game and understanding the music from the ins and outs, so looking on in, right? How would you see younger people that want to be music making their moves now in this day and age of the game?
You know, pursuing you know, the NFT marketplace, you know, learn as much as they can about Google it, you know, download more information, you know, gather more information about the blockchain and NFTs. Right now, the hip hop, you know, even though Snoop Dogg and Chance the Rapper and those guys, they got NFTs and they doing this and that, blah, blah, blah. It hasn't made an impact on the next generation yet, because they are on Instagram. It's hard to break that Instagram cycle. It's hard to break that TikTok cycle. You know what I'm saying? The NFT is going to allow the next generation of artists to control that content with ownership within that cloud, the blockchain. You know, in other words, BMI, ASCAP, and those other agencies are important when it comes to mechanical royalties, the sale of the music and the streams of the music. You know, with the Harry Fox agency and the MLC, Mechanical License Society. But the ownership and control, where you can sell that product directly to that fan through that NFT blockchain controlled and owned content, is the key to your future. Because you really ain't gonna need those agencies anymore. But it's taking off slow. The only genres of music that's really showing promise right now is EDM and house music.
EDM is electronic dance music, right? And then you got house music.
And you know that genre is from the LGBT community. You know, so that's what, because you know, it's a lot of gamers that's non-binary. You know, they don't claim, you know, a man or a woman. You know, it's like I said, that space is a safe haven for them. But as a hip hop and trap and soul artists gradually start to understand and gain that knowledge, you're going to see a lot more entrepreneurial, younger generational content creators making major moves. Because like I said, the tech billionaires, that's where they're pouring the money into those type of platforms.
I hear NFT talk all the time. I was looking at an interview that Dame Dash did with someone, and I know him and Jay-Z was in a court battle, you know, for their royalties for part of Rockefeller and the part of the NFTs and all of that. So I had heard I will start hearing more about NFT. I don't know about that. Maybe that's something I probably need to learn about.
I'll definitely, you know, keep you up on it. I'll send you start.
Okay, let's talk about it and have a conversation, because I definitely want to know if it's something that possibly I can maybe invest in.
Especially doing blues. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I mean, you'll be the first. You would be sort of like the very first blues artist to open the door.
Okay.
You gotta remember whatever seeds is planted now is for the future generations.
Gotcha. Absolutely. And that's what I'm about.
Right. It's the future generation. It's the future of entertainment and entrepreneurial opportunities, period.
Right. Because, you know, I told you about my nephew, which I plan to interview him coming up here soon. That is blowing up like crazy in Chicago, because he's producing a lot of those well-known Chicago rappers like G Herbo and all of them out of Chicago. He is one of the biggest producers out of Chicago. So I'm going to interview him soon, because a lot of the younger generation need to hear a lot of the knowledge that he is saying that he has as well. From his generation. With what he's doing. Well, Ron, I want to thank you so much. I'm going to get ready to close out. Bro Clarence, did you have anything else? I'm going to drop you down, and then I'm going to close out with Ron.
No, I think he's out. This is this icon feature.
Bro, okay, drop him down. All right. So Ron, thank you so much. I cannot thank you enough. I definitely want you to come back at some point in time and do an interview when your other album drops, and continue to let us know about your future endeavors as far as what you're doing as a solo artist, and even as far as any artist, up and coming artists that you're working with. But you know, we can talk soon about, you know, the Vegas thing and the Arizona thing or whatever. We'll talk later off the stream in regards to that. I'll definitely stay in touch. I hope that your knowledge and your experience of being in the industry for over 30 years have reached the ears and the hearts of people that can learn from your experiences and everything that you've been through. Thank you so much. In final words, is there anything you'd like to say before you drop off?
In final words, in closing, I appreciate you all. Love, peace, and Black power.
All right, and give us your social media. Let everybody know what
Yes,
your
the
social media.
Trackman Funk Hop, the Trackman Funk Hop Inc.crypto on IG. My website is www.funkhopinc.com. And all my links to my social media is on the site. All updates is on that site.
Okay. Thank you so very much, you guys. It's been a pleasure. And thank you for doing this, Ron. And I will be in touch. I wish you much success and nothing but love right back for you. And I will talk to you soon, brother. Thank you so much for joining us.
All right. Have a great night.
You too.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right, guys. Oh my God. This has been so exciting. I want to thank everybody for, wow, I'm so overwhelmed for coming and rocking with your girl on my debut interview. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. And I hope that you guys learned something, because I always try to give something that you can take and to heart and learn something from. I want to give a big shout out to Knowledge and Relationships and the Intellectual Soapbox for rocking with me, being that rock and that family that believed in my project and what I wanted to do and where I want to take my talk show to. As far as giving you guys a little bit of different side. And I hope that you got something and learned something a little bit more about OG Patrice and my life and my experience being in the business for over 20 years. I do plan to bring other people to the platform. I do plan to talk about other subjects, as I said earlier, politics and have some activists on here and talk about things that they're doing in the community, as well as continuing my interviews with a lot of my family and friends. And Ron's right. He don't like, a lot of them don't like to be called celebrities. When you have somebody of Ron's caliber who have worked with so many people, and we didn't even name all the people he worked. We just named just some of the people that he crossed paths with and worked for. But I want to give the rundown now, you guys. Thank you guys for rocking with me. Salute to the chat. The chat is where it's at. Thank all of y'all that came in and supported me in the chat. Thank you for your comments, your words, your questions, just your encouragement. I felt it. I did. I felt the love. You guys kept me going. But I want to give a big shout out and a rundown to all the people that came up on the platform and ask questions for Ron. So first and foremost, I want to thank my brother, Vouaghn Bryant. He was the first one to come up. Thank you, Vaughn. I appreciate your support. I appreciate you coming on the platform. You absolutely asked some really great questions, and that meant a lot to me because I like people to ask questions. That's how you learn. That's how you gain knowledge. So thank you, brother Vaughn. As my brother Brooklyn say, strong performance, brother Vaughn. Thank you. And then we had my other brother, bro, Clarence. He came up, he supported, he asked a lot of great questions because he's a musician too. And I just thank you so much, brother, for coming up and supporting me, asking the questions that you did, and getting the answers, hopefully, that were to your satisfaction. Bro Clarence, also, you gave an awesome performance. So I will say that as well. My brother M3, I thank you. Thank you so much for everything you and Intellectual Soapbox and is doing behind the scenes, but you came up and you asked questions as well. So thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. Your questions was definitely poignant, and I appreciate your support. Absolute great performance. 2 thumbs up. And Queen. I think Queen was the only female that came up, right? Yeah, besides myself. Queen, thank you, sis, for being another female to come up on the panel and ask questions, because I appreciate that feminine energy that you give. And thank you so much for your support and being a support system as well, coming up on the panel and asking Ron the questions that you asked him. You absolutely gave a great performance. Simon, you came up twice. I just want to say that. First time you came, you just said, I just want to say hey. and I appreciate that. And the second time you did come up, you asked the question and you gave a comment or perspective about the other side of the industry that a lot of people sometimes seem to forget all the time when we Google celebrities' names and they say, oh, they worth $21 million. We think it truly is what it is, and it's not that way. And believe me, I'm saying this because I've had conversations with Teddy Riley and I'll be sure that has absolutely said it's not what you think it is. So, and I believe that wholeheartedly. So thank you, Simon, for coming up. Good performance. I give you a thumbs up, brother. I appreciate it. Zavage, which was Ron's artist. He was our first, well, actually, he was the first person that came up because we kind of did a little small interview with him and Ron together because they had the duet song together, that project that they did together of Zavage's rap song, brother out of Philly, that's now living in the Carolinas. And I was so glad that Zavage came up and said that he was a father and he was a husband because that worked. A regular job. He wasn't a street guy. He wasn't that guy that we see typical rappers tend to be from the streets that, we know that they were doing illegal things out there prior to them having success in the music industry. So Zavage was a breath of fresh air to see that, a regular guy that's a husband and a father can come up and can pursue his dream and be a rapper and don't have to come from that type of world. So salute to him. And we wish Zavage much, much more success in his future endeavors with the project that him and Ron is continuously working on. Thank you so much. Awesome performance, Zavage. Is it anybody else I'm missing that came up on the panel? Wally, thank you. Thank you so much for coming up on the panel. I told you to hurry up if you wanted to get your question in. So thank you so much, Wally, for coming up and asking your question that you asked. Also, you gave a good performance. I give you 2 thumbs up for the question because it led Ron to talk about the business side and NFTs and where the future of the music industry is going. So, thank you. That was actually really 2 thumbs up. Great question to lead to the answer that Ron gave. Is there anyone else I'm forgetting? We had Wally. Yep. Gave him. I think that's it. I think that's everybody. If I did forget anyone, charge it to my head and not my heart because I love you all absolutely. And I want to thank everybody that stopped by in the chat just to give a hello, just to give a salute, just to give a shout out. And on my next show, I will have another surprise guest that's in the entertainment industry as well, or either a politician, who knows, or an activist, who knows. You never know what OG Patrice is going to give you. But I tell you, this is going to be an awesome talk show where I want to talk about things that matters of the heart in our communities and who we are and what we serve and what we are so deserving of. Again, shout out to Ron. Thank you to Zavage. Thank you to Knowledge and Relationship Team, Intellectual Soapbox Team. Thank you so much. And for rocking with us so much. Did I forget anybody? Again, like I said, if I did forget anybody that came up on the panel, please charge it to my head and not my heart. I love you all. And thank you for rocking with Patrice in my first debut of Straight Up No Chaser Talk with your girl, OG Patrice. Now I'm signing off. Salute. Bye. Hello and goodbye. Hello and goodbye. I love y'all.